Warning, this podcast has some swears in it.
I'd rate it PG-13 at most, but let's just be on the safe side and say viewer discretion is advised. Quickly scroll down over to Empress Quinn. Okay.
What?
No, just checking your section, you know. I'm usually expecting a giant speech bubble there, but we
not this week. I just have my it's either Shelf Brews season, so there's that, and then there's the other deck, and we're gonna be real normal this week.
We are gonna be super normal this week. And be the ocean of normalcy and stability in the sea of completely disingenuous conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least that's the hope. Time to raise your blades, heroes.
And check some vibes.
It's the Heroes Blade Vibe Check. Coming to you live from the new room, the tiny closet in my new apartment. It's a great time.
Hell yeah, gamers.
We have so far, between my girlfriend, myself, and a few other friends, have been referring to it as the Goon Cave, the Coon Room. I think Bjorn over on Lexicon called it the Fart Room, in case that does happen. Terrible.
Why do you like this?
Because it's funny. It's really funny to do. But yeah, it's great. I need to. Quinn and I kind of chatted about it a bit ahead of time, but I'm gonna be looking into soundproofing it. Quinn suggested blankets. We immediately leapt into the most nerdiest thing you can think of like putting a Naruto character on the wall.
And yeah, just get a big ass Sasuke tapestry that'll soak the sound.
No, we gotta. Sasuke's so mid. We gotta go to like Kakashi or something. You know, like we gotta have the guy on the wall.
I'm a fake fan. I only know Sasuke's name. Sorry.
Okay, Charlotte, I'm sorry we called you all the way over here. We gotta shut this whole thing down. I'm sorry.
I'm not watching Naruto, dude. There's too much of it.
Yeah.
They need to make compilations.
God, what was that show with like the samurai dude with the fox ears?
Oh, Inuyasha.
It was,
yeah,
well, he wasn't really a samurai, but yeah.
He had the sword is the right shape.
And he was a dog. Sorry.
I didn't watch enough of that to know that either, so I don't know what you want from me.
Listen, the only thing that really matters about Inuyasha is you can't go an episode without Inuyasha and Kagome screaming at each other with their names because the monster of the week is getting their ass or kidnap Kagome or whatever. So
it's because that one's for the shippers.
It is for the shippers. And the less we talk about Inuyasha, the better, because this is not the podcast for that. This is a Magic the Gathering podcast, everyone, despite some of the opening bits we have are hilarious here. All right, so we have Charlotte Sable in the house. Charlotte, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, our most honored guest. Thanks so much for coming through.
Happy to be here. Good old 4 a.m. recording times.
Yeah, we do gotta love the 8+ hour time zones.
10 hour difference. So time zones are a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me get this can of Crush Orange open. Yeah, crisp. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cheers. All right. So Charlotte, you are known for quite a few different things. My first exposure to you was through Tumblr. You were Ask a Magic Judge.
Although I didn't know that until several years after the
fact. So we talked about it a couple episodes ago, but we just thought it was really funny where I'm like, okay, this is how you either know people or you don't, or just by association and magic stuff, where I'm like, okay, we, like, for example, a friend of mine were on the SkyTrain down here in like the lower mainland, Vancouver in BC, and we were both randomly talking about a a Game Nights episode, and someone who was going to be a future Game Nights guest was on the same SkyTrain and being like, well, I can't tell them and I can't tell anyone I'm going to be in a future episode. And I think it was Millie who was on like one of the first guest episodes. It was really funny.
Nice.
And then, which somehow I say led to this situation of me doing this stuff. And then fast forward to being on Tumblr before Tumblr's like, we can't have gooners on this website. Get out of here. Like, fine, I guess we'll go to Twitter or whatever. And, you know, it was like, great, okay, so go to Twitter. And
now
then,
here we are.
Well, no, and then the third step was going to be part of MTG Lexicon, or at least being brought in around 2019, 2020, and then seeing your name come up as a guest, and it not clicking, because on the Twitter, I'm like, no, it's Ask a Magic Judge, it's not Charlotte Sable, or at least it wasn't, like, blown up against, like, the walls and in the sky, you know? And I'm like, wait, hold on. Oh my god! It's you!
Yeah, there are some things that I should have done better in terms of branding when I started that whole thing, but I think I mostly went into that with altruistic intent, since the whole story of starting that Tumblr, it was literally like the end of 2012, which feels like ancient history at this point.
Crumbling to dust, my back.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Knees.
Yeah, but literally, like, I was on there for other things, but then I saw
fandom.
You know, there was fandom and there was Morrow, and because Morrow was basically the only Magic thing on Tumblr at the time, he answered occasional rules questions and frequently got them wrong.
Kicks down the door. Mark Wozerotter, I would like to tell you how wrong you are. In fact, thank you.
I mean, more it was just like I wanted, you know, I saw that there was a demand and that there was, you know, I'd rather there not be misinformation out there. And so, you know, I started
that job needed doing by somebody, and if it was going to be done, then it should be done right. So you'll do it.
Right. And I didn't know if it would be a thing where I got other people to help, so I just made it as magicjudge.tumblr, and then it just ended up being just me for a decade. So
truly, we thank you for your tireless efforts answering all those judges.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd probably have to look back, but I'm absolutely certain I've thrown a couple questions your way over the years.
More than definitely. I have no idea what the count is. I'm sure it was probably close to like 50,000 posts or something.
Oh, it was obscene.
Wow.
Like, you would see some... I always love seeing it's... Considering where judges are now, when you think about the grand scheme of things, and like, I have a friend of mine who's currently out in England who's a judge as well. I think he's I think maybe he's like the equivalent of like a level 2 or level 3 judge. He's always like running events at his LGS and everything.
Yeah.
But just sometimes like having the like, hey, by the way, I need to message you like right now. And I know with the 8 to 10 hour difference you are available to answer this question. Resource on hand. It's pretty good, you know. Google AI Assistant can't give you that fucking answer without going in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah. And, you know, generative AI is shit anyway, so.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Who was it? Andy? Was it Andy Flowery who was like, I searched up... This was today. He's like, I searched up something with, where the fuck is this thing? And it skipped right past it and actually gave the answer. And it was
that is a thing that I'm seeing on the websites. People will be like, if you do the same search but with like profanity in it,
they
AI
reject
doesn't
it.
know how to handle that, and you just skip past all of that. So there's a little shortcut for you gamers if you're out there.
You know what? Okay, this is a complete random tangent. This episode is going to be taken forever, by the way. But what I'm laughing at is I'm like, you know, one of the things that I love about people being just using profanity and being just crude when it comes to this type of stuff is some people are like, we can't run this through the algorithm machine and burn copious amounts of fuel and water to have it generate some shit here. So You could have an article just be like, swear every third sentence, you know? So, yeah. All right. So
get into it. We got some.
Let's get. Oh, hey, by the way, happy belated birthday, Quinn.
Oh yeah, thanks, gamers. Birthday's on the February 2nd.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I love how we record on your birthday one year, and this time it was like, it didn't fall the same. It wasn't the same, but oh well.
Did we record on my birthday?
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, last year. Yeah, I'll have to double check that.
It would have been the day after if we hadn't delayed this. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we'll get through some vibe checks and we'll get through some stuff, and then we'll talk about the thing that the very topical thing that's going on here. But let's do some vibe checks.
Yeah.
Charlotte, you start us off because you're the guest.
All right. I mean, I figure since I'm the guest, we can just go through some of my commanders.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
Not only do I have commanders that pass the vibe check, I've actually been in the process of adding the actual blade to the decks. So
yes, we've done it. We've done it.
I love to hear that.
Exactly. So yeah. So currently I have it in God Eternal Oketra, which 6/8 Devil Strike. Heck yeah.
That's a really good number.
Oh, also in that deck, and I guess this is a separate vibe check itself. Senu picks up the blade real fucking good.
Yeah, I love that bird.
I actually killed someone with that the other day.
Nice.
I attack with Oketra. She has the blade, and then all of a sudden, the other unsuspecting opponent's at 4. And it's like, oh, okay, well, Senu's gonna, come back and he'll pick the blade up. And
he'll pick the blade right up, yeah.
And look, that's lethal. Well, gotcha.
Yeah. Beware the bird, baby.
I love that little bird so much.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Senu totally passes the vibe check. 2/1 flying vigilance becomes basically Sarah Angel, yes. Let's see, Alessia, who smiles at death, passes the vibe check.
Oh yeah.
6 power first strike is
absolutely.
Also just makes attacking with her a whole lot easier and safer.
And it's the fate reborged bit again, that
exactly.
limited. I want to reemphasize this. If we go back to Tarkir and there's no Heroes Blades, what is the fucking point?
Yeah, you're gonna get a showcase foil Heroes Blade.
Shut up! I want it.
Yeah, I do want it. Let's see. So then, also, I haven't actually added it to the deck yet, but Okon, Eye of Chaos, totally passes the vibe check. It basically doubles his power, so you get a free coin flip win off the bat.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. No, that's really good.
And so and you basically now you only need 3 coin flip wins for him to be lethal. Plus, you probably have other things pumping him anyway, because that's just the name of the game with either Okon solo or Okon Zinder split.
Do you have Okon solo?
No, I have Okon Zinder split.
Okay.
I was
but I know that those decks exist. So
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
there is surprisingly enough tech for it.
Yeah, I think I would give Zinder Split the honorary vibe check.
Oh yeah,
I mean by association.
Oh yeah, I mean she becoms what, a 4/6?
Yeah, she's prepared to fully throw hands.
Good.
Oh yeah, it makes her worthwhile. Yeah. Right. Beyond that, I don't know if any of my other commanders really pass the vibe check. It's less good on some of them.
I mean, that is the unfortunate reality of the day we live in. So, for example, I'm gonna use this to transition to mine really quick. So, I'm playing Captain Howler Sea Scourge. I made the deck.
Heck yeah, Shark Pirate.
That motherfucking Shark Pirate passes the vibe check. This guy, it's not surprising that this guy is going to be really popular, and I think, again, we're going to mention the Legendary Creature Discord, because a bunch of people were like, hey, I'm building Captain Howler, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, and I'm like, I'm also building Captain Howler, and they're like, yeah, and so, passes the vibe check. We're already above rate with a 5 power 4 mana creature in Izzet, which is kind of nutty and dumb.
And he has ward 2, pay 2 life.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I didn't, we're gonna get slightly smaller, Avika, like, in terms of rate, like, what the heck? Being able to just juice him up, you're already making him a little bit powerful. I mean, his power is gonna be, his ability on the Discord is probably gonna be one of the reasons you're gonna be punching through with him a lot. But the other thing, the way I have my deck build is I took apart my Red Death deck, which I was not so happy about, but my Izzet resources aren't plentiful, and I needed to downtick my deck somehow. By doing that, I also had to take apart Ivora, Insatiable Hair, and I added the two of them to the deck, because I still want to keep the Goad sub-theme and the Discard sub-theme, which also included all the wheels and stuff. So combine the two of them together, I am now able to have Ivora or the Red Death or some of the other legendary creatures take up the blade if the captain can't do it himself, while also making a bunch of people attack each other and giving them the +2/+0 draw me cards shenanigans. So it'll be
villainous mastermind.
Teamer battle rage it up and laugh. It's a good time.
I mean, also from a flavor standpoint, have you seen the size of that man's forearms? Of course,
that dude is
so
a beast.
Powerful,
beast.
It's
I
gonna
got
take
the
me
altered,
an eon and a half to get it done, but I'm gonna try and draw Captain Howler leaping into battle, holding Embercleave with his fist like on fire from Fists of Flame.
Okay,
that whole mental image is incredible, and also it kills people mechanically.
Fist of Flame is just such a good card.
I love it so much. I got a foil artist proof.
I don't even. This is again, we're random tangent. I don't mind the fact that even with this guy, he's going to be really popular. Maybe my idea of it will change, but like I think he's a good baseline, powerful commander that has card advantage built in some way to compensate with your discard effect. But we have so many ways of doing the discard effect.
I've seen like 3 separate archetypes so far. You can do just like straight up wheels. You can also do like looting, and you can also do what you're doing and focus on other people's creatures dealing combat damage. And you can also make it a like seismic assault deck. So,
also, if I can just suggest a random ass old card, you know the card Amok?
No, I'll just look that one up.
I was going to say, I don't know. Someone also mentioned another old card, but let me.
Yeah. So this is an enchantment from Stronghold. 1 in a red. Pay 1 mana, discard a card at random, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature.
Okay. Target creature. So you can use that to commit mechanical crimes too if you want.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That is also the sub-theme, another sub-theme of this deck that I made.
Yeah. But it's like, so you activate that, you get a 1/1 counter and +2/+0, and you get to replace the card when you hit. Like,
it's
pretty good.
I love it. Gotta love it. I'm just gonna mention this last one because it's very quick and I haven't done anything with it yet. But the motherfucking Speed Demon. This dude is so fucking cool.
5/5 with flying and trample. I'm absolutely putting the Hero's Blade on that. Next question.
Flample is always good.
Flample, a max speed of 4 allowing you to draw 4 on your end step and lose 4 life, which, like, you know what? Who cares? We're playing the fucking Speed Demon. We don't give a shit.
Those triggers feel so good, too. The first one of those, you draw up to, like, a full grip, and then you're like, sweet. And then the next turn, you're discarding to hand size. Like,
I was thinking, oh, God. It had, what's... Damia, Sage of Stone was kind of what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm just and the One Ring, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of like part of the One Ring's effect of just like, well, you max out at 4, but it's just kind of like,
do you really need more than 4?
I don't think you do.
No,
at least so far.
No, but I've seen some people go
freaking. Felt incredible.
I've seen people go freaking psycho on the One Ring. So like, I don't know. All right. Quinn, what do you got?
I got some fucking Ether Drift season brews that I went through because it's Ether Drift season. So the commanders, naturally, we got to vibe check them. Loot 3, guys got double strike. And vigilance passes the vibe check.
Yeah,
Easy.
what the fuck?
I'm fucking killing people. Far Fortune and boss. She wants to be attacking anyway. I'm obviously gonna put the blade on that. Hell yeah, check. PNLR Chief Mechanic. She's primarily crewing vehicles, but if you put the blade on her, she can crew even bigger vehicles. It's free money. It passes the vibe check.
Yeah.
And lastly, motherfucking Vinwixt, the homunculus who doubles card draw when you're at max speed, passes the fucking vibe check, because now you can enable that like speed increase with Vin themselves. You don't have to rely on finding your like shitty little 1/1s to deal combat damage. You can just get in there and throw hands.
So it is again, it comes down to the usual timing issue between when you can get the blade out first before Vintwix, but again, it doesn't matter. You are playing a 0-4, and you can also like have a flying man or whatever ready to go in the wings to start getting that speed up. So yeah, that's pretty sick. I like that. Neat little guy. All these articles are coming out where like, is this commander going to be fun? And people are like, nah, this guy sucks. I'm like, nah, that's my guy.
Have you considered playing the card and finding out yourself, gamer?
Yeah.
That'll try.
Yeah.
Have you considered having some fucking whimsy?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Don't be like me. Don't be like me.
Get 'em.
Be a whimsyless fool.
We can't have it. You have to stay silly. It's critical. It's the only way.
Everyone's like,
We are playing a children's card game, for fuck's sake. Like,
look, there's only so many times, you know, for all the times that they keep jumping the shark in Magic, it's still a pretty fun game to play, like mechanically, you know.
Bro, the shark that they are jumping was made by the card Sharknado. It's literally fine. I'll jump that all day. Keep it coming. Give me more
Speaking of another
sharks to jump
card that
over.
got into the frickin' Shark Captain deck is frickin' Shark Typhoon, because that card is just
Absolutely,
great.
because then you can play Shark Typal. You've got Shark Typhoon, you've got Captain Howler. It looks real
Play
good.
Brawlin. You play Brawlin for the synergy and also
he gives
giving
you
your Sharks trample.
The
It's
first
a good
time that I realized I could play Brawlin in the 99 of decks that also just like had Shark Typhoon, it was just like,
It's crazy. Insanity.
it's not just there to give Shabraz trample, it works on any shark.
Now, a friend of mine at work was like, oh, I want them to have, like, more playable sharks. And he looked at the list, and he's like, it's not looking good. He's like,
We're getting there, though.
Captain Howler and Shark Typhoon. Like, no, it's not.
There's the Marauding Mako, I think. That guy's
Yes, that one's
piece of
actually
shark.
fine. That one's actually fine.
there's the Chrome Host Seed Shark. That one's pretty
I
sick.
also play that one. Yeah, that's a good shark.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay,
You're
so we're at
casting
4.
non-creature spells. You want the Chromos Sea Shark, babes. You already know this.
True. I'd blend that thing up for less. Okay.
So yeah, we're at 4 playable sharks. There's also one more, that Voracious Great Shark from Ikoria.
Oh, the counterspell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. I take it back. All right, you're right.
That guy's actually extremely funny,
It's a
especially if you're
flying
playing...
counterspell shark. I don't care.
Okay, but have you considered being extremely rude with Ghostly Flicker?
Yes. As a
People
matter of
think
fact.
they're getting away with the thing, and you're just like, surprise, bitch, I've blinked my shark, and also I've blinked something else.
What's the
also-
6 draining whelk? Duh.
Yeah. There's also Pouncing Shore Shark.
Oh, that's a good one, too. You can
Oh, the
mutate on
mutate one,
something
yeah.
that doesn't matter, bounce that thing, then you've got the
Okay,
shark creature
alright.
typing. It's all coming together. Shark typal.
All right. Well.
Bro, Kindred Discovery.
Okay. All right. Relax. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, Maskwood Nexus. Like, come on.
Hang on. We're
Okay.
gonna do this honestly. We're gonna play actual fucking sharks. You don't need to
Yeah,
hack
fair.
your creatures.
All right. So, let's get into comments. We actually got quite a chunk of some people going through episodes here. All the way back from episode 6. Uncharismaticbard says, Taunt from the Rampart coupled with Don't Move is freaking hilarious. Not usually on that Burrows train, but damn, that may be a new goal. Cole, thank you for this wisdom. There is no wisdom. There is no wisdom. It was just bullshit, but it is still very funny.
It's just an expensive board wipe, but you know what? That's fine.
Lenny and you will never let me hear the end of it, but you know what? I didn't care. I got to 10 mana in a Boros deck and pulled that off for literally no goddamn reason because it was just funny. The only thing that probably would have made it better if there was like a Vicious Shadows or something out for that and been like, okay,
chill.
Let's cap it off. All right.
But see, it's extremely funny because it's a slow motion board wipe, and you get to watch everyone's face just drop.
I get to sit there and make people be like,
trigger.
I don't want to go to combat, man. Don't make me do it. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Everyone was so tilted. We're just like, why couldn't you just cast fucking Wrath of God? What's wrong with you?
Because I have the loose cannon trait, so I have to do it.
I think you would have won that game too.
Oh, I would have won a game if I did one and then the other afterward. But instead, my whimsyless ass said, "But what if I did it though?"
Anyway, we got another one from uncharismaticbard on episode 24 featuring Fitz, who says, "Y'all should put a content warning on this episode. Definitely contracted the lich itch from this biz." Well, thank you. I'm glad that you were inspired by my fucking dissertation on lichdom. Get that list on my desk in 2 weeks. I want to see what's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, uncharismaticbard did share the Thrun list. Oh, well, actually, they've also shared another one, but we'll get back to that second here. Aisling Dorothy from episode 20 says, "Wish I could like this one multiple times. Gruel is the future."
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah,
just like, what did we do on episode 20?
What did we do? Talk about hugs.
I need to build me a Gruel deck. That's one combination I don't have yet, and I still don't quite know why. I just haven't found the right...
I've found that unless you make a compromise or, like, add a color or whatever, like, there's not really... Like, I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I did Death Leaper, and I couldn't get on the train. Like, some people, like, they've been talking about Death Leaper a lot recently in the last, like, 6 months or so, but... Anti-Flash, that was my compromise. I'm like, this occupies the space. If I try to make a dedicated Gruel deck, I'm not going to be able to do it.
I think you gotta just keep waiting until you find the one that really speaks to your heart. Like, I didn't give too many fucks about Gruel until I found Clothis, and then we kind of fell off, but then Hugs came into my life.
Then Hugs came to play, yeah.
I have a relationship with Gruel again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can we go take a look at Jim's comment there, Charlotte?
Jim Brame, still episode 24?
I think at this point I put them kind of uncategorized from, like, recent episodes, from, like, 30 plus.
So Jim Brame says, "Great episode. Thank you for defending our little guy from the haters.
Time with
Empress Quinn. Yeah, the Ether Drift story summary was good. Little guy shortcuts.
Little guy shortcuts.
I think that one is so fun.
Yeah.
Thanks,
actually, thank you, Quinn. Listening to that episode actually got me a point in a trivia quiz I did the other day. So.
Oh, yeah!
I have to know what the question was now.
Oh, I forget. It was something about the Ether Drift story. It was...
Okay.
Yeah, like the who's and the what's it and the where and the who did the what.
Like,
and,
and it's like I don't know, like, because this set, to be fair, I'm not into the race stuff, but like once again, it's like the story is really good and the lore is really cool, and it's just the tropey nonsense that they slop on top of it that like turns me off.
Yeah, it's a McDonald's milkshake basically of just. You get it, and you're good, and there's no nuance to it. It's just strawberry milkshake, and for some people, like me, I'm like, great, strawberry milkshake, I love it. Other people are like, where's the depth, though, Magic Story, we're gonna get... Tangent. Our show, don't give a fuck. It's just...
Yeah, you're literally in charge here. You can have as many tangents as you want.
Some people were mentioning today, an article came out where they summarized the Aether Drift stuff, and the thing is, a lot of people pointed out that, like, for the Magic Story, the average Magic player won't care, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I talked to a lot of friends. I talked to someone about this on a Discord, and I can't remember where exactly it was, but it's like, there are people who know who Mark Rosewater is, right? We know who Mark Rosewater is.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine around, I want to say it was like 2014 or 2015, was down in Seattle and got a photo with him because he was at the building. He was at the WotC building. And I was like, sick. This is awesome. That's so cool. And my other friend's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, who's this old guy? Like, okay, fair enough. And then when you talk about the story or like the guest writers or anything, people are like, wait, this person on this Magic the Gathering card is actually secretly the villain of the set? It's like, surprisingly, yes. And it's a cool thing if you actually like pay attention to like the store, like the card art store, like the story cards, and like maybe read an article or two, you can figure it out pretty quickly. But there's just such a disconnect, and like I'm just glad we have it accessible through the main website and it's not a book. Like, like War of the Spark. Ugh. Oh god, sorry. Oh, that hurt. Oh.
Yeah.
It was bad. Alright, Uncharismatic Bard. Glad y'all like the Thrun list. To be honest, the only reason the last troll isn't on the deck is that I don't have one. Built this deck with shit straight off the desk.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Great episode. I think a lot of us MTG fans are Dragon Horsegirls. Yeah.
That I would say is probably true. I have yet to meet no, that's not true. I know like one gamer who doesn't like dragons, but everybody else it's just like, of course you like dragons. Who the fuck doesn't like dragons? It came for free with your being a nerd.
Like
I mean, I'm not like into dragons, but dragons are cool. Like,
yeah, dragons are cool.
Yeah, dragons are cool.
At least no one's a Snorse girl.
I have been known to saddle a Snorse that bobs wrong on occasion.
Yeah, fair enough.
What's a Snorse?
A snake horse.
The snake horse from Thunder Junction.
Yeah, we're very specifically referencing
the
Caustic Bronco.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm extremely into that one because its design is the Snorse that bobs wrong, and I'm just extremely into Dark Confidant effects.
Oh, yeah.
But also,
my mind was blown when I found out that Saddle was originally made for Ether Drift and pulled forward into Thunder Junction.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah. That's
okay, that
wild.
makes sense. That makes sense, actually.
I mean, it's kind of a perfect mechanic for Thunder Junction, right?
Yeah, they were just like, hey, so we're doing this Western set, and we'd actually really like to be able to, like, ride horses with our cowboy set, so can we just grab that?
And we know you have that, yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's
and I mean,
still
it was a low enough volume that it's not, like, overly
yeah, it's not egregious.
Here.
And, like, you can kind of get away... They kind of got away with some of the designs. Like, Calamity is really cool. Like, low investment, like, no big deal. And the Snorse, like, Cosmic Bronco is pretty freaking sweet. Like, I'm just glad, like, I took a scan through them, and, like, I'm more likely to play a mount than a vehicle. And I'm glad of their existence, the fact they were able to sort of backport it
Tell
early.
me more about why on that, because I think that's a common sentiment that I'm seeing, and personally, I don't fully understand it.
So here's the thing, right? Unless you go out of your way to make your vehicle's creatures through other effects, you have to invest, maybe you just invest a utility creature and you can create your vehicle and you're good to go, right? But I just find that, like, unless you are playing Parhelion 2 or the Sky Sovereign or whatever, right? The level of investment...
It's obviously busted.
Yeah, but the level of investment on your average vehicle doesn't feel as impactful. And if you need a blocker, if you need a creature... If you're 2-for-1ing your vehicle, you don't have to 2-for-1 your mount. You can just attack with the mount.
That's fair, but also the mounts are kind of like a vanilla larges if you're not saddling them. So.
Right, yeah, and that's fine. Like, for example, I got that basic plane searching Lynx in Audric. I put that in recently. And it's a vanilla 2-mana 2/2 with lifelink, baseline. So great.
Well, it's a 2/3, thank you very much.
Even better, you know? So we're great on attacks, we're great on blocks, it's got lifelink, it synergizes with Ocelot Pride, and then if I mount it with something, then I can get the bonus of getting a planes, which is like, great, perfect. That's simple functionality, to the point, achieves my goal. If it did any less than that, I wouldn't even consider it. And that's where I put, like, vehicles into that, where it's just like, I'm putting too much into a vehicle, and that vehicle better be doing fucking sick stuff. Like, I got to hit someone with Jackdaw, about a month ago in my Iron Man deck, and I drew like 7 or 8 cards. That was like, sick. I don't want my hand anymore. I can just draw 7 or 8 or whatever, and great. Afterward, it was like, cool. I'm not fucking crewing this guy again.
So you're looking more at these vehicles that like do a thing, even if you don't have it crewed or whatever, like the Thopter one that makes the Thopter whenever you draw.
Yeah,
your
like
second
I wanted
turn.
to just have. If I don't need a committed, like if I'm not blocking to save my life, I'm not going to crew a vehicle.
Or
and if
my
I'm
fucking champion, the boosted sloop. You just
Yeah.
like, draw and discard every time you attack. Oh.
Yeah, can I not just do that as is? Like, do I not need to animate? Like, I don't need to animate it, obviously.
Yeah,
but
you don't need to animate it. You can just play that as like a 3-mana enchantment that loots when you attack.
Cool, great. I'll look into that. Thank you. But I didn't even clock that because I just saw a vehicle and it just went out the brain. Like, I didn't even care.
Yeah, you gotta look at those because they've got cool statics now.
Yeah, go for it, Charlotte.
Well, I mean, I personally have a bit of a soft spot for vehicles because I have a budget red-white vehicles deck that I built for... God, I can't even remember the name of the gameplay show it was on. I mean, I feel awful. Anyway, but it was for an episode of
It was
like
a while
gameplay...
ago, obviously.
Yeah, it was an episode of a gameplay show, and I've maintained it at like a €50 or under budget. I'm actually worried at the moment for its value right now because a lot of the vehicle staples are going to be creeping up. But it's red white. It's Depala, so it's called dwarves. It's called dwarves in cars because why not?
Depala's fucking bananas. Actually,
she is like just value, right? Like
if you build the deck right, she'll draw you so many fucking cards. It's wild.
Oh yeah. I mean, also you get to play 7/7 dwarves, so like, why not?
Yes, yeah, I love that.
Also, I run Soul Foundry in the deck so that I can someday live the dream of having more than 7/7 dwarves.
Let's fucking go! I love to see that. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah. Also, can I give one gripe on a vehicle in Ether Drift?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I have a problem with Hull Drifter.
All right, continue.
Because you can't have it enter and die and
because the whole point of a drifter is that you can cast it for 3 mana and get your 2 cards and be done, right?
It should have said cycle for 3. If you cycle this card, you get to draw an additional card or something.
Yeah, exactly. There's cycling in the set, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it.
It is a throwback that doesn't.
Or just make it a smaller vehicle, right? Make it like a 2/1 flyer that crews for 1 or something.
I mean, we're talking about a common level vehicle that happens to be a throwback by that is the thing, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's just like it's not a drifter. Like they have set a standard now with both.
This would have been the time
Null
to
Drifter.
have a...
Like if Null Drifter wasn't a thing, then sure, it's like. But now you have set a precedent by making a second one. So you have to make
is
the
my
third
living metal
pattern.
Transformers vehicle cards in this fucking set? This was only a thought that just came to my head now, because the only vehicle that I consistently play is Megatron, and I'm like, give me that. That is the time I'll play a freaking vehicle, because there's no downside when it's on the off turn, you know? He survived a couple board wipes the other night. Charlotte can attest to that.
Yeah.
This fucking guy.
But yeah, they could have put it on like a commander. You know, one of the commander decks, right? Like, vehicles you control have living metal, you know, like, they're...
Oh, that would have been sick. It
would have... Although they did print, whatever it is, the Matrix of Leadership, right? The thing that lets you just crew a vehicle or saddle a mount for, like, 2 and tap, right? So...
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Guidelight Matrix? Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It is totally a Matrix of Leadership.
Yeah. Oh, can I also just say, I fucking love the Guidelight Voyagers. They are the cutest fucking robots ever.
Oh,
They are so cute.
say what you will about some of the designs, but it doesn't change the fact that their cute little emoji faces
Exactly, they have little emoji faces.
I honestly hope that they're like a preview of, what is it, Echoes of Eternity? And like that's their home and they get back there. Yeah.
I think Edge of Eternity.
Edge of Eternity.
Okay.
But
okay. No, sorry, Echoes of Eternity is the Eldrazi enchantment, right?
Yes, that's where I get that from. Yes, you're right.
Let's not get it all mixed up. Wait, that's gonna be... Yeah. I don't know how, but it's gonna be validating that it's gonna be about fucking Emrakul. Fucking eat it, Quinn.
Yeah.
It might be. I mean, the Eldrazi like live in that space beyond the stars in between the things, and we're like right up on the edge to...
Yeah, we're literally in the
the silver moon from Innistrad hit the edge and just said, whoop, I'm free. I don't know. I don't know. I'm conspiracy theory time. All right, let's get through the rest of these comments.
Fucking connecting pins and red strings that like don't make any fucking sense.
Sorry, I have y'all's format in shambles right now.
Yeah,
no, it's over. Okay, we're chilling.
Okay, Uncharismatic Bard, the episode afterward. Quinn, I support your discard New Year resis. Been on a mono black build kick. Went full discard in black. It's what the color wants. Why deny yourself the fun? And it's a Tiny Bones Bauble Burglar deck.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. That discard is a significant portion of mono black's like color identity and what they're allowed to do. And ignoring that entirely is doing yourself a disservice. I gotta explore the whole thing. Also, Uncharismatic Bard, you're at 103 cards, so I'm Judge Judy tapping her watchdog gif. Let's get that tightened up.
Also funny, it's a tier 3 deck. More on that later. Light is back, commenting, Hexadecimal is a respectable, hear me out, plus 13.3% rep.
17.
Listen,
yes.
I'm sure that meant something to a lot of you people, but unfortunately, I have no idea what the fuck.
Quinn, I need you to Google hexadecimal right now.
Listen, Reboot was a very formative experience for many Canadian youth.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was way more into like dot and mouse than hexadecimal, but also
oh god, I haven't thought about mouse in years. Hexadecimal gave me the feels when I was younger. Yeah.
Okay, now I understand.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. It's like it's been 3 weeks, Quinn. I need you to look at this.
Yeah.
Neck Hefferon says a horse girl, but for halflings doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But if the shoe fits, and I mean, yeah.
Listen, if you like every halfling card, that's fine too. I support it.
Yeah. Laura 5030. Yes. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a long one, but I'll see if we can get through it quickly. So, yes, I love the conversation between Chandra and Ketramos. I got too tilted after the end of the Thunder Junction story. Frickin' hate Jace. Will spare the rant. You clearly didn't. So I stopped reading stories for some time, but I couldn't stay away for long because I really love lore and they get good authors, which they do. Mm-hmm. Aether was so much fun outside of the amount of Jace. Oh my god, get over it.
Let them cook.
I love Chandra as a narrator. She is so much fun, but there are also glimpses of sadness and reflection that are very well done, in my opinion. There's a lot of heart in her parts, in her parts of the story. Also, Piantaretti developing a new engine from the go from palm fiber and rhino bones.
Like they had to use materials that were around, and that's what they had.
Oh, on the go. Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I'm not that excited about the Jace villain era. Mm-hmm. Because I feel as if they will turn it into another he had a good plan all along, isn't he the bestest of the best moment. Some parts in Aether Drift, especially the fact that Lute was afraid of him, gave me hope, but I'm preparing myself for the disappointment. Listen, this man is trying to rewrite reality using phoenix feathers or some shit, I don't fucking know, but we're gonna figure it out and we're gonna see what happens. Follow-up comment. Elspeth said she was there because of dragon storms, and that dragon storms spread throughout Almond Paths to a ton of planes. So this is clearly a multiplanar issue. Very cool. We will go to Tarkir and figure this shit out, and maybe. But now Ugin, Ugin's going to be part of Edge of Eternities. So
yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's going to happen. We're going to find out, aren't we? Maybe that conversation between Maybe that conversation between Jace and Ugin will happen again, like when they met in the the Hedron thing. I can't remember what it was called, but
that was before my time, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was on Zendikar. Anyway, all right. We got content, so let's talk about content. I took stuff away. I'll use it for next episode, but
we have hashtag big content this week.
We have hashtag big
so
content.
True, bestie.
Yeah. But let's start off with the one thing that you mentioned before, the big thing.
Yeah, so I'd like to shout out this YouTube channel called Hungry on Plane. They're like a smaller creator. I think they have like 20,000 followers, maybe less. But they do these interesting like 15 to 25-ish minute video essays on like early pro tours and competitive Magic and stuff. And like they make it really digestible, really interesting. They fill in like the context of like rule differences and stuff that were there at the time. And it's like just really like, I don't know, it's totally my jam. If like if you're one of those like YouTube video essay nerds, it's like a really neat little like bite-sized thing that's like really cool. And like,
yeah, I was gonna say at least it's not like 2-hour long essays where you're just like, what the fuck could you be talking about for 14 hours, bro? Get off, get a life.
I mean, there can only be so many Spice 8 racks in the world. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely subscribing to this because I think like a history lesson on competitive Magic.
Oh, it gives so much context, right?
Yeah. And just cool. Funnily enough, today they dropped a new video about Mike Long, one of Magic's most notorious cheaters.
Perfect.
And how he won a pro tour with a not a long con, but with some like mind game shenanigans on his opponent, which is cool. Oh yeah, so really good stuff. Shout out to you. I don't know if you'll possibly listen to this, but
that would be cool. Though.
And if not, let's get some viewers on this channel because it's good stuff. And I don't know, it was fed to me by the almighty algorithm, so I don't know how.
Every once in a blue moon, YouTube gives you like proverbial gold for what you're looking for. You're like, I have never heard this person or seen this person in my life. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, perhaps named the brackets in the room.
Yeah, the big content. A new announcement from the Commander format panel about the Commander brackets beta.
So what was it like to work on this proverbial beast before we even like get into what it is? Right. What are we doing here?
So this is the first thing. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a member of the Commander format panel.
Thank you, Empress. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, at least I get paid now. Anyway, I was a member of the CAG for like the whole run of the CAG, you know. Like I've been involved with Commander leadership for a while now, and yeah, this is the first thing that we've done since the unfortunateness of last year. But yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, that was September. My God, I don't know. It feels simultaneously like it was like a month ago and like a year ago because time has no meaning anymore.
Yeah.
So true.
But anyway, yes. So basically, like, it's interesting with the format panel because it's a lot of us from the RC and the CAG, but then there's also new voices, which are really good in the room, and they helped a lot with this. And basically, it was a very interesting process because we had to like figure out, you know, so the sort of elevator pitch for the new brackets is this is a new sort of baseline rule zero discussion, right? Mm-hmm. It's a new way to like go and sit down and talk about what your deck does and to what sort of speed and efficiency and yada yada yada. And so we had to like start from not necessarily zero. It was close to zero, but Gavin Verhey, who was, you know, the leader of the gang and, our primary Wizards contact, he came to us with a couple of basic ideas, and we iterated on those and then ended up kind of combining them, because because they had announced the idea of the brackets, but it was a weird sort of clunky thing with different cards in different brackets, which was
I remember that
just
image.
gonna
People
be a
memed
weird
the shit out of it so quick.
Oh yeah. But so there's that idea, but that felt soulless to a lot of the people in the group. And then we were like maybe we should take a more sort of psychographic approach. And that went well. But in the end, we actually sort of synthesized the two together to make a sort of system that's about both what is in your deck, but also how your deck does it, right? How your deck ticks and what you're doing with it, right, exactly. So that was interesting. I still feel like this is just a beta, so there's still work to do.
It's the 1.0. It's the 1.0 version that we're getting.
Yeah, well, no, this is like 0.9, right? We're not even at 1.0 yet, right? It's a beta anyway. But yeah, so we're so I mean, it was interesting working with people, and it's kind of weird, right? Because you sort of butt heads and you throw things back and forth. You feel like you're not getting anywhere, and then all of a sudden you get two people verging together on the same idea, and then everyone realizes that this is what we've been sort of aiming for the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. It was really interesting because once we had the idea, we kind of knew what we wanted for the different brackets, and then all of a sudden the names started to come together for the brackets. It's hell yeah, this is good. I mean, honestly, it's a really good crew. It's big enough that if there's a couple of people who can't participate as fully, it's fine. And a lot of the new voices did contribute a whole lot to this. So there are some awesome new people I mean, there's Attack on Cardboard, who's a rules based creator from Australia. He's really cool. It was nice. It's nice to have another sort of rules brain in the room. There's Lewis Stardust. There's Deco and Bandit, who are a couple of CEDH minds. They're all really interesting and had really good fresh perspectives, and so it's all been really, really awesome. And then just everyone, and then there's all the people that were on the CAG and everything before and RC coming together, and it's just I'm proud of what we've put out there, but it obviously is not fully baked yet.
No.
Yeah, let's actually talk about what we're serving up. So.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I don't know maybe I'll see if I can do this when I get this down in the YouTube video, but obviously links for this will be available. I imagine the VOD will still be available on Twitch, hopefully, if you want to get a verbal breakdown of what's going on.
And Gavin also published a Good Morning Magic episode.
Good Morning Magic, yeah, okay, yeah. So we'll have...
That's going to be the video source that you want to provide most.
Because that's more edited and...
Yeah, much more, yeah. Obviously, I think the one thing we want to say straight up, because people sure do love to go absolutely batshit insane over literally nothing. This is not a ban list. This is not a change to Commander. It's simply another way for you to communicate what you want,
again,
rather than just baseline pregame stuff.
If you and your friends or you and the people at your LGS have pregame discussions or a metagame or whatever that works for y'all, you can just say, oh, it's cool, this is fine, and maybe you get some new toys in April, but but for now, this is to solve the untrusted play issue, right? If you're sitting down with your friends and it's dude, your deck is too strong, and you can have that talk, that's cool, but this is for, if I don't know this guy and this other guy, how do we play a game together, right? How do we not end up with someone pub stomping, or or I want to sit down with my modified precon and you want to play your deck that's every expensive card you own.
Trash Magic optimized tier. I know the meme that'll be coming out is like everything is a 3, but like and once we see other iterations of this, although it's here, but.
Although it's actually funny because we've been sharing like feedback and like literally people are seeing everything's a 3, everything's a 2, everything's a 4.
Yeah, a bunch of different play groups are like, oh, so every deck is just a 4 now, and all of the people that they hang out with are like, yeah, everything is totally a 4 now. And then completely different groups of people will be like, okay, so everything's a 2, right? Yeah, dude, everything shows up here as a 2. I don't like
as a 2.
What's going on? And it's just like, no, dude, that's working as intended. You built your specific meta games.
And again, if you and your groups are like, oh yeah, all of our decks are aligned, then that's great. That means that what you were doing before is working.
So let's try to break down each tier in an order that feels appropriate, going from 1 through 5.
Let's break down what the tiers are saying, right? Because they're talking about a few different things, right?
Remember, it's vibes based, everyone. Let's chill out for a second.
I mean, it is vibes based to some degree. But like you're looking at, so the big thing that people get out of this is there's this game changer list, which currently is a list of 40 cards that are like the most powerful, centering, game warping effects, right? Like it's like best in class tutors, it's like the heaviest stacks pieces, it's that sort of stuff, right?
Heuristic Study. Wow.
Yeah, it's Heuristic Study, Smothering Tide. Let's actually start with. Let's actually start with the list. So let's just run it down. So in white we have Drannith Magistrate, Enlightened Tutor, Sarah's Sanctum, Smothering Tide, and Trouble in Pairs.
I can agree on kind of like more or less all of that.
Yeah. In blue we have Cyclonic Rift, Expropriate, Force of Will, Fierce Guardianship, Heuristic Study, Thassa's Oracle, Urza, Lord High Artificer, Mystical Tutor, and Jin-Gitaxias, Core Augur.
Which I'm kind of shocked to see him there at 10, but if people are cheating out, okay, sure, I can.
That makes sense.
I mean, he has been a boogeyman in the past. Yeah. In black we have Bolus's Citadel, Demonic Tutor, Imperial Seal, Opposition Adrian, Turgrid, God of Fright, Vampiric Tutor, and Ad Nauseam.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and red is the slim and fit one with only 2 cards in Jessica's Will and Underworld Breach.
Which is again 2 cards I can also agree on those 2.
Yeah. Green has Survival of the Fittest, Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, and Gaia's Cradle. Multicolor.
It's only 3, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. Multicolor, we have Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow, Winota Joiner of Forces, and Grand Arbiter Augustine IV.
I am not surprised about actually that list at all.
No. And then in colorless, we have Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, The One Ring, Tabernacle at Pendril Vale, Trinisphere, Grim Monolith, Lion's Eye Diamond, Mox Diamond, Mana Vault, and Glacial Chasm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I personally disagree with some of these cards being on the list to the exclusion of others, but like the shape of it is something I very much agree with. Mm-hmm. I do feel like maybe it should be, I mean, not perfectly color balanced, because let's be fair, certain colors through the whole history of Magic.
I'm just shaking my head.
Historically more problematic than other colors. Yeah.
Looking at you, blue.
Yeah.
I get the idea of not wanting like out of the gate to have like here are 50,000 cards that are all on this watch list that you need to look at. This digestible.
But luckily, it's feeling like with the initial feedback we're getting that people would be open to a slightly bigger list, which is nice. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily like huge or double, but yeah. Anyway, so those are the game changers.
So the game changers are the cards that are being used as a metric for these brackets.
Among others,
portion of it.
This is sort of like your miscellaneous cards. But there's also other sorts of cards that we basically look at, but they're easier to sort of classify together. So Mass Land Denial, these are cards that either destroy all lands or tap down all lands, or basically keep players from having access to 4 or more lands, right? That's sort of the line we drew, right? So Winter Orb, Armageddon,
Blood
that
Moon
sort of
have under that,
Blood Moon, Ruination, notably I believe we don't.
I think isn't there like a 6-mana red spell that blows every lands up except for 4 for each player?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, then there's also just like Wildfire and Destructive Force. But yeah, but notably, this doesn't include what is it, like From the Ashes, like the stuff that destroys lands but then lets people get basics. That's still probably something you want to discuss with your groups, but like, yeah. Extra turn spells are easy. They're extra turn spells. That's like the easiest thing. Does it make extra turns? Cool. Then it's an extra turn spell. 2-card infinite combos we also call out. Those are easy. More specifically, it should be 2-card. Like, I think we're gonna tighten it into like 2-card game ending combos.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then tutors in general, not counting like fetch lands or basic land tutors. I feel like tutors that can get any land are a bit broader and should be counted, but there's an ongoing discussion on that. But yeah, so those are the things. So like, yeah, so we look at all of that. Let's go, when we're going through the brackets, let's start with the middle 3 because the 2 ends are more outliers and they're definitely more vibes based. Right? So we'll start with level 2, which is called Core. This is our this is what we sort of see as the base level, entry level commander. This is where modern precons live. This is where most decks that you throw together but don't spend a whole lot of time like perfecting live. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Like, I'll just read what they had, what's in the article. So like, yeah. So bracket 2. So experience. I do love that in the article it's broken down into experience and deck building. So experience, the easiest reference point is the average current pre-constructed deck is at core bracket 2 level. Well, bracket 2 decks may not have every perfect card. They have potential for big splashy turns, strong engines, and are built in a way that works toward winning the game. The game is unlikely to end out of nowhere and generally goes 9 or more turns. You can expect big swings. The deck usually has some cards that aren't perfect from a gameplay perspective, but are there for flavor reasons or just because they bring a smile to your face. Deck building rules: no cards from the Game Changers list, no intentional 2-card, infinite combos or mass land denial. Extra turn cards should only appear in low quantities and are not intended to be chained in succession or looped, and tutors should be sparse. So yeah, I
am loving this.
Yeah,
this is my jam.
This is very much the smoking mids of, the brackets. Yeah. Like this is good old, not quite battle cruiser, but we're here to play cards and do stuff, but not like go nuts.
We're gonna do a little bit more than just turning creatures sideways. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people
8 to 10 turns and like combat damage or burn damage usually.
Yeah, like I think
maybe an alt win con that's harder to set up. Like
like something long term. You gotta draw into it.
Like a relatively fair approach of the Second Sun or something, right? Like,
yeah. You cast those cards, you draw those cards 1 extra card at a time, not I draw 7 cards and immediately get it.
All right. So then bracket 3 is called Upgraded. So the experience of bracket 3 is that these decks are souped up and ready to play beyond the strength of an average pre-constructed deck. They're full of carefully selected cards, with work having gone into figuring out the best card for each slot. Not 100%, but for more so, they're definitely decks that have been iterated on. Games tend to be a little faster, ending a turn or 2 sooner than core. It's also where you can begin playing up to 3 cards from the Game Changer list, amping up the decks further. It doesn't have to have Game Changer cards to be bracket 3. Many decks are more powerful than a pre-constructed deck without them. They should generally not have 2-card infinite combos that can happen cheaply or in about the first 6 turns. But it's possible the long game could end with one being deployed, even out of nowhere. For deck building, you get up to 3 Game Changers, no intentional early game 2-card infinites. Extra turn cards should only appear in low quantities and not intended to be chained or looped. And no mass land denial. All right. Bracket 4, optimized. Unless we want... Sorry, did we want to talk about 3?
No, I mean, I feel like, for me at least, I as much as I was like, oh yeah, number 2, let's go. Like, number 3 is probably where a lot of us tend to really operate without even really, like you said, having the game changers, and a lot of decks
if it's a deck
punch
that's been like around for any length of time, then it's probably going to fall in that upgraded section for most people.
Unless it's a really niche strategy or something, right? Like,
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, optimize.
Optimize. So time to go wild, Brack. Bring out your strongest decks and cards. You can expect to see explosive starts, strong tutors, cheap combos that end games, mass land destruction, or a deck full of cards off the game changer list. This is high-powered commander, and games have the potential to end quickly. Focus here is bringing the best version of the deck you want to play, but not one built around a specific sort of tournament-style metagame. It's about shuffling up strong and fully optimized deck, whatever it can be, and seeing how it fares. These will be the highest power commander decks you interact with for most players, and no restrictions to deck building other than the ban list. So yeah, this is high power, like balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. You know, we're gonna go zoomy zoom.
Just shy of CDH.
Seen her, my Rakdos Rowan is extremely in this section where we don't play her unless we're
my
playing
Xyrus deck.
Lives. Yeah, that sounds good.
That did the work the other night,
Oh, man. The Snake Mother came to serve that evening.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yes. All right, so 2, 3, and 4 are where, like, the bulk of decks are going to live. Then we have 2 outliers on the ends that are similar to their neighbors, but different enough that we figured they deserved inclusion. We'll talk about 5 because it's more easy for people to understand. So 5 is CEDH. We literally had a discussion. It's like, no, we're just going to call bracket 5 CEDH because that's what it is. We're not going to give it an extra name. We're just going to like own that this is CEDH, and CEDH is a thing and part of Commander.
I love that.
So good. Yeah.
I mean, it basically is saying, like, yes, CEDH is Commander. Yes, you are part of the format, but you are also not... You are not the be-all and end-all of the format as well. Either,
I already had to go to bat where someone's like, why don't you... Like, what's the point of the brackets? Why don't you just separate it? I'm like, that's not the fucking point, you dumb fuck. Like, the point is that CEDH cannot exist without Commander. Right. And the difference
CEDH is Commander at the highest level...
Bar none, period.
It's like, again, like literally, if you split CEDH off into its own format, we've had this discussion before, then there's just a new highest level of actual Commander that's going to bubble up, right? Like, so CEDH, so basically what we said. So mine's high power with a very competitive and metagame focused mind. Mindset is a key part. Much of it's how you approach the format and deck building. It's not just no-holds bards where you're playing more powerful cards. It requires careful planning. There's care paid into following and paying attention to a metagame and tournament structure sometimes. No sacrifices are made for pet cards. You just want to try to win, right? Your strategy and your theme...
And you and 3 other people sit down and agree you are trying to win. Go.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Winning matters. And again, no, like people when the stream was up were like, well, 4 and 5 are the same. It's like, no, they're not. There's no difference in deck in like what you can play in them, but you know, like the way I put it,
at that point, it's definitely much the social contract at work pulling the weight.
Like the way I put it is a deck over time. In a play group, so over time can like naturally evolve or devolve, you know, can actually like shift.
I mean, the arms race will inevitably happen.
Yeah. You can definitely start at precons and end up at optimized, right? You're not gonna build this. You're not gonna end up with CEDH decks by mistake.
No.
Right?
No.
You're also now let's move back down to bracket 1, which we've called exhibition. This is where the weirdo decks live. The decks that you build and play, not necessarily to win the game, but to do something fun, whether it's a very specific, restricted build restriction, or
humans look left. Sit in your chair thrown.
Right, exactly.
17 cards Ice Cauldron combo. Shout out to Quad Nines.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so ultra casual. Winning's not the primary goal. It's more about showing off something unusual. Yeah. Focus on having fun. And it has the same deck building rules as core, except we don't allow generally extra turns at all. But again, since this is such a sort of weirdo, artsy sort of thing, this one, people are like...
It's the hipster tier, more or less.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, again, this exists because me and several others were like, there needs to be a tier below Precon because those decks exist, right? Mm-hmm. Precon, like, modern Precons are strong. They're focused.
Yes.
They're efficient, and someone build it. And again, we're not saying that your bracket 1 deck has to be weird. Sometimes you'll try to build a deck based around a very narrow mechanic or, a theme that just doesn't have a lot of support in with the colors you're doing it in. And it's just going to be weak. But you enjoy it and you want to play it. And so this is also the home for that, right?
A skeleton but type also, if I don't put the busted cards to make it a good deck, that probably goes there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
this is my skeleton ship players.
This is my skeleton type deck with, Ozox, and it's not a aristocrats deck, and it's just like, I want to make skeletons and swing with skeletons. Like,
Great.
That probably lives here, but I mean, more of the time, this is going to be intentionally built weird decks. You're not going to... It's very unlikely that you build a deck and it ends up as exhibition by mistake, right?
Yeah.
Same as with CEDH, right?
A lot of the discussions that I have already seen on top of the incessant, I don't have to use the system. It's like, exactly. The tiers are to add structure, but when you hit exhibition... There's a severe lack of intent that needs to go into it compared to a more enfranchised player.
Yeah,
I think someone said they literally just have chaff. Like whatever they have on hand is what they can use, and that's it. And if it turns out to be a half decent deck or whatever, but there's no, I'm not going to upgrade this. This is what I have on hand.
Yeah, like if someone fell in love with a boxing league deck but doesn't want to upgrade it, then it maybe lives here as well, right?
Yeah, like the eternal, this is the eternal deck, it will not be touched, it will not be de-sleeved, these are the cards in it, kind of thing.
Exactly. But for example, I have an exhibition deck that is built it has a very, very tight restraint, but it's built to be the best it can be within that restraint.
Within the restraint,
just makes it bad, right? So it is my, in quotes, goblin deck, where literally every card other than basic mountain has to have the word goblin or some planar variant thereof in the card name, right?
Oh no.
So
hang on, it's getting good.
No.
So I can play Mog Catcher, which isn't a goblin. Oh, I'll ship you the list. Don't worry.
Okay.
But that deck, it plays Muxus as a commander. It has good tutory cards like Mog Catcher, Goblin Recruiter. I'm limited to basic mountain, and I think there's 2 other. Is it 2 or 3 non-basics I'm at this point? Anyway. But it's it's a stupid deck that's not is never going to win a real game of Commander, right? But if I play it against other stupid decks, maybe it will, right?
But there has to be the agreement that you're all intended to play at that.
I have killed a player with it, which is its highest achievement so far. So.
Nice. We're getting there.
Yes, we're getting there. Yeah. But anyway, we don't want to derail and talk about my meme goblins. But
We've lost the plot already, Charlotte. We just got to keep going.
I know. I'm just trying. This is the meat. I'm trying to like focus here. So yeah. So those are our 5 brackets from exhibition to CEDH. The important thing to note is that while there are the content restrictions that define a floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like baseline.
The feel
this is
of
where
your
the deck can operate.
The feel of your deck is definitely what defines where it is. Like, for example, I don't run any game changers in my Helga Mutate deck, but that deck is brutal.
Shit.
That deck slaps.
That
deck is brutal, and so like I basically would never play it with against core decks. I would play it probably just in optimized, right? Or probably like upgraded. I don't think it could hang with like optimized, but you know, it's definitely not a core deck, right?
Benoit called me out earlier today. He was saying, like, you know, if I didn't know any better, Cole would be the chillest guy I saw in Moxfield if I hadn't played with him. And I'm like, so as I'm trying to like swing everything together here. So as part of this announcement that these brackets were available, Moxfield and Archidec have updated their UI to include where your deck's floor in the bracket would be. And lo and behold, after I refreshed my Moxfield and took a scroll through my decks, it was a resounding amount of 2s in my current roster. Yeah. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Audric Bloodcursed is a 2? Fuck you. But also, I find that very funny. But again, this is where based off of this criteria, Moxfield and Archidec and all this other stuff, assess that your deck is floor is at a 2, but it's not factoring in your personal experiences with the deck. It's not factoring
in the deck speed or
that isn't being calculated. So I'm like, Audric is probably more like a 3, and at best if I'm playing like an Insano person at 4 because of
Audric goes in the 3s because he has the game changer of the pilot.
Yes.
But one thing that's nice is on Moxfield, for example, you can edit the bracket, but even if you manually set a lower bracket, it will show the bracket that is actually defined by the cards in your deck if it's higher, right? Mm-hmm. So it's that people can't. It does auto assign, at least Moxfield auto assigns between 2 and 4. It will not auto assign a deck as 5 or 1.
As 5
that
or
you
1,
need to that you need to set manually, which is the intent.
So if you're a CDH gamer out there who's offended that your deck didn't get tagged CDH, go and tag that with the fucking custom themes thing so that it says CDH, so you get your coveted 5 tag.
So for anyone on Moxfield, on your deck, you click the little more thing next to like the bulk edit and playtest and stuff.
Yep.
And you go to settings where you like set your format and stuff, and the brackets are there. And there's even a thing for auto estimate, which is I think what it defaults to. But again, I do wish that because of how this information has been disseminating out there, and a lot of people are going to look at the infographic and they're not going to read the article and not going to.
There's going to be a lot of disingenuous discussion about it.
Yeah, exactly. So
or just complete dismissal.
I kind of wish we'd maybe waited to like roll this out to the deck builder sites, but the cat's out of the bag. We can't put the genie back in the bottle. Like, you know. It is what it is at this point.
Sorry to interrupt, Charlotte. I am now scanning at your deck. I see what you mean. Holy shit. Oh my god. All right, sorry.
Goblins.
I mean,
I'll share that later in the links. But it is just straight up the most goblin-y goblin deck you've ever seen.
I do need to update this because there are some sweet Foundations cards for this deck.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Anyway, so yes, let's not talk. We can talk about my meme goblins like the next time I'm on the show.
All right.
Sure, we'll get back to you in a year and a half.
Anyway, So, but back to the brackets, like, it's a tool. It's a pregame discussion tool. You know your decks. you should be like, again, and again, the brackets are a good way of like, again, it's the auto assessment stuff. It's nice that it's there, especially if you make a new deck and I don't know. It's like, okay, well, this deck doesn't have any game changers, so I think it's core. And then you play it against people with core, and then you're just smashing, and it's like, oh, okay, this is maybe upgraded, like,
yeah,
or this is not making a good time, right? Like,
Like you can
I don't know, like
the cards for certain tiers and be like, okay, the experience that this is providing is from this tier here, so we're just gonna only play that where it's appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel obviously in its current iteration, it's a good baseline.
Yeah.
Just based off what we have. And then in the future, once it gets more refined, perhaps these numbers are going to be more properly reflecting. On top of, again, just you have to use your common sense like most Commander games of like...
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you as a person? What are you bringing to the table? And what are the other people bringing to the table? And this is, again, another tool to talk about that.
And you have to approach the system with good faith if you're going to get a good faith game out of it, right? If you're gonna angle shoot and, corner cut and try to, rules lawyer your way to being, into pub stomping.
I swear it's not a 4, bro. I swear.
Yeah, like no, again, it's like, again, there is nothing we can do to stop someone sitting down and lying about their deck, right? We cannot. We cannot implant chips in people's head, right? Yeah, exactly. But this is another tool to give people more vocabulary and more ways to talk about their decks, and make that process easier, right? Rather than
I like to have it.
Rather than like every deck
is better.
Yeah, I mean, rather than every deck being between a 5 and a 10, like, then what's the other numbers for? It's like, okay, here's an actual legit span that reasonably you can have decks in all brackets of, and, it's a beta. We know that we know that the Game Changers list isn't perfect. We know that we know that we're probably going to, like, flex on where the line is between certain brackets as we go, but it's a start, and you need to start somewhere to start gathering data, right? It's like with my personal deck building philosophy, I am usually not someone who can just build a deck on Moxfield. I need to have physical cards in front of me, right? I also, have a hell of a time actually, like, just picking the right 100 cards. And so it's like, end of the day, you put 100 cards together and start playing, and then you iterate, right? Like, you have to start somewhere, and this is where we're starting. So if you want this to work, and then you need to work with us.
The ball's in your court,
exactly.
And what you
right?
do with,
and we're happy to listen to you.
Are you going to pass the ball around and be a team player, or are you going to be a fucking show-off, try-hard, and try to fucking get the slam dunk? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Or are you just going to be a fucking dickhead? Like, I don't know. I have already seen... I think a lot of the fair criticisms that have already come out just from today alone are fair, because people of different minds are coming to see, like, what does it mean to have these brackets? There's still not clear enough definition, for them at least, between high power Magic and CADH and the 4 and the 5. I think that's a pretty valid one. There's probably a few more things that I can't really think about. But the dismissive attitude is the thing that's just throwing me into the sun.
Absolutely. We're like, why aren't you unbanning Jewel?
So here's the other thing. I know you can speak to this because you were on the CAG, and I'm only looking at this from the outside looking in, is that we went from a bunch of effective volunteers and unpaid people in a small group of people with no real backing or resources to be able to quantify this in any significant way. And now we have successfully reached that point because WotC's picked up the reins on it. Are they still going to be able to assess and take this information accurately? Probably not, but it's still better than...
I mean, there's literally a team that is going to be trawling social media for feedback and bringing it to Gavin and us. Like, that is something we could never do with the RC and the CAG, right? Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't expect anyone who was doing this for free to be like, cool, I guess I'm going to spend the next 3 days piling through Reddit posts and YouTube and whatever, right? Like, it's just not quantifiable to do. No, but now we have people who are paid to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, again, you know, I mean, the fact that we had EDH Rec and the deck building sites on board from, like, the launch, the fact that this is going to be fully implemented at MagicCon Chicago in a couple weeks, like, you know, this is, you know, we're in the big time now, right? Like, this is what Commander needs if it's gonna, like, keep evolving with, you know, the player base and the needs of the format, right? Like, yeah, it's not, this isn't the CAG of old, or this isn't the CAG, this isn't the RC, things are changing, but, like, it's not scary. And, like, you know, end of the day, Commander got too big, and if it wasn't, you know, what happened in September, it was going to be something that was going to, you know,
something else would have broke the camel's back at that point.
Exactly. And like, at least no one actually got physically hurt or anything. So, like, there was some bad shit, but, like, nothing. But, like, again, you know, end of the day, everyone walked away healthy and relatively happy. And so, yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, please try this. Please give us feedback. And, you know, if you don't like this, don't use it, right?
That's it, right?
Don't shit on the people who this is actually useful for, right?
And you gotta fucking engage with it in earnest before you decide you don't like it. I can hear you fucking turning that frown. Like, don't do it yet. Try it first.
I hear you typing on your keyboard with a several page retort about how dumb the bracket system is and how Richard Garfield and Morrow are ruining Magic, despite the fact that Richard Garfield hasn't been involved in forever, and Morrow's probably within a decade of retiring, and all this other stuff. Like, honestly, if anything, blame Hasbro. But the end goal is to create a more easy entryway with strangers. This is really what I'm looking at it as. This is how I'm personally interpreting it. I don't expect to be using this with trusted people. There's no way. We will probably joke about it, but...
I'm gonna roast you for some fucking game changers coming up, I'm sure.
Yeah. They're like, they're like, we're gonna put this on here. I'm like, fuck! That's one of my favorite cards, and Quinn will never let me live it down. And honestly, you know,
a Lawrence Searing Light going straight.
It can't go on the list. There ain't no There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
Razorkin Needlehead straight to great game changer jail.
Yeah. You can't be. Hey, I mean, if Children gets on that list, and fucking Ebony Owl Nitsuke, get the fuck on that list. Fuck you.
Fuck. Oh no.
Hero's Blade, straight to the game changers.
Yeah, you do know how much I've sacrificed? Do you know how I made a fucking podcast about this card?
But yeah, but like, again, you know, I mean, I think it's a start, and I'm happy that the community, for the most part, is at least not completely negative on it. There's going to be haters, but like...
Oh, there's going to be...
But people seem... Again, I think once people play with this, like, because, like, we're 20 people who are, like, you know, theory crafting this. Now it's going out into the wild, and it's going to get stress tested and come back to us with actual, like, you know, data, and that's cool. And, you know, I'm excited
to see what comes of it.
I just, I just ask people to give it a chance. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. And, you know, if you don't want to engage now, then that's cool. And we'll have a final version in a couple of months.
I was going to say, this is your early access release. If you want to wait, you can wait. Because guess what? Sometimes you have to double pay for your game. And that fucking sucks. Yeah. So let's hold on out. Get the 1.0 to come out.
And, like, even if you're going to Chicago... You know, this isn't going to be mandatory in the command zone, right? There's going to be
people
playing without.
Oh, what if they enforce it at Chicago or my LGS? I'm like, I'm pretty sure you could talk about it with like 3 people and just sit at a table, like relax.
Also, from like a personal standpoint, like, I like this because because in general, I don't play, except for like a few decks, I don't play a lot of game changer cards in what I feel are my sort of more mid decks. And it's like, I've been going through and like, setting my decks to their right level, and it's like, okay, it actually feel like this is giving me permission to sort of maybe spice those decks up a little bit, right? Because it's like, okay, I want it to play at this level. So, let's, I guess I could put a Demonic Tutor in Alesha or whatever, right? Like, why not? Why shouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I've just even taking a look through my list and stuff, like, I feel as if the early assessment is where I want to be at as a builder and as a player, to able to go out to the world and meet people in those tiers. And I'm probably sitting in 3 comfortably rather than just simply being in like core optimized. And then once you kind of sit down and be like, well, the reason this is bumped up is because of XYZ cards. Then it'd be like, well, okay, what is my personal relationship with those cards and why I do or do not play with them? And this is just, again, a way for you to also just sit back and assess, like, how many decks have... Fitz and I were already talking about this, because I'm like, damn, look, Ristic Study and all this other shit. He's like, yeah... He's like, yeah, but Cole, how do we quantify you being mad at every single card? And I'm like, no, hold on a minute. I'm not mad at every single card. I'm mad at specific cards that are pointed my way. And he's like, yeah, again, how do we quantify that into a bracket system? The answer is you don't. But as someone who does like the cards that are on the game-changing list, first of all, this feels validating. But second of all, this does give you the impression of like, yes, these are the cards that cause game warping effects to occur. You need to assess if that's appropriate for your pod. If you have them in so much saturation, what is the type of game you're expecting versus what a lot of other people are wanting to do? And the answer is, I don't know. Fitz probably takes up 99% of the people I see playing Ristic Study. If I see someone playing Ristic Study somewhere else, it's a one in a million shot kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. I feel extremely validated in the self-proclaimed mid-smoker. All of my decks show up in the like 2 and 3 section, except for where I have specifically designated I'm going to play a high-power casual deck, and those show up as 4s.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's working exactly as intended.
And again, if you feel like your deck isn't strong, but it's full of game changers, then you can pull some of them out and play, different cards, or you can build your deck up. I think at the peak, if this makes people rethink some of their card choices, like I saw a picture on like Bluesky of someone who's like, well, I've updated all my decks, and it was just a stack of ancient tombs that have been pulled out of decks.
Oh yeah, I respect that. You're just like, oh, this is actually causing these to be in the bracket that I don't want to be associated with. So if I just cut this one card, then my deck looks different. The bracketing is different. And
hey, can you send one of those ancient tombs my way? That'd be appreciated.
That I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, just swap them with Temple of the False God, unless you're already running both.
Yeah, someone already said
like
that was
$30 bills too, so you can just like get yourself several nice dinners.
Yeah,
or several new decks.
Several new decks
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. I'm glad that you're part of this and you have your input in on it too, and you're being paid for it. That's really the key thing.
That is key that you're being paid for it. I'm glad.
Theoretically being paid. There have been some hiccups with actually dealing with Hasbro payments, but that's a story for another time. But
I'm Judge Judy tapping her watchdog gif. Run Charlotte her fucking money.
Yeah, for real.
Charlotte needs her cash. All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be follow-up and everything. But yeah, like, this is going to be cool. And I think we've spent enough airtime on it when we should just go back to smoking mids.
Speaking of new decks, let's talk into the Brews Off the Shelf section.
To kick us off again.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Brews Off the Shelf. I just really want to start with that lexicon game that we had there, Charlotte.
Oh, Xyrus? Yeah, Snake Mother.
No, I wasn't there for that one. That was after.
Sorry. The 2 hour one. Yeah.
The Oketra and the Megatron one that you and I had.
Yeah.
With Missy and Brandon. The only commentary that I have is, Missy, if you ever listen to this episode, just fucking concede for the love of God.
Yeah.
It was
just...
We hit 2 hours and 45 fucking minutes for that game.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Too long. Yeah. Though on the plus side, I'm happy with my Oketra deck. That one was on the shelf for a couple of years.
And sleeve a whole deck during that.
Yeah.
That's a full-length fucking movie in Hollywood right now.
That is like Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
Yeah, we thought we were joking about that for our episodes, but like, goddamn. So like, so I had recently been tuning Megatron to have like some different gameplay patterns and to have some extra security and stuff, and I think at least for his current iteration, like, I've hit a pretty good point of intentionality, lethality, and ways to like recoup card advantage. I'm really glad, I'm really happy that I got Pia's Revolution out for that game, because it really just showed, it really asks the question, do you want to be lightning bolted for this random arbitrary death of my artifact? To which Missy said, hell yeah, I'll take it. I'm like, thank God, because there's just no way I could get your life total lower than it already is. And, if you can create a commander deck where you can commander damage someone out of the game and his name is Brandon, it's a great time.
Oh, yeah. Pia's Revolution is a good card. I don't play it anymore, but it was in my Alessia deck for a long-ass time. So.
I'm glad that somebody looked at Athreos and was like, but what if we could do that for artifacts?
For artifacts.
And actually, sailed all the way through, and we actually got the card. Thank you.
Yeah. And it features Chandra's mom being badass.
Yeah, super awesome. Like, everything about the card just reads super well. Athreos was one of the reasons why I picked up the card, because I'm like, well, I don't have an Athreos anymore, but what is Athreos adjacent that isn't also... not like stupidly expensive, but like in comparison, a bit of a night and day thing. That turned out pretty super great. I love how Brandon got all hooked up on the Lava Brink floodgates being able to pop off, because where people are actually playing ball, Quinn. People actually put counters on it, and then I threw it at
it's fine
Charlotte's
if
face.
it's a Sisei's ring. I'm not too good to play Sisei's ring.
No,
but you are too cowardly to put a freaking Doom counter on it when it matters.
It hasn't been advantageous to me to wipe the board usually. Sometimes it's just better to keep tapping for 2. I don't know what you want from me.
I wonder why that is. But yeah, I've now, with some of these changes, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I think that was, despite the longevity of that game and the back and forth, and the first time you were like, yeah, I think I'd like to concede. And then Missy said, wait, let me cook. Yeah. And you said, okay. And then half an hour later...
Yeah.
Gamers, there's no shame in picking it up to certain death. It's fine.
Yeah. I
was honestly close to conceding when Brandon's board, when he had the 2, Myojins, the 2,
Searing blades or whatever the hell they are. Yeah. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on?
I was pretty much... I would have been happy to, scoop to the stupid, spreading plague, I don't want to play this game.
If there's anything that... I understand I'm mentioning Missy on this a couple times from the not conceding part, but Brandon being Brandon, bringing the most annoying fucking magic cards conceivable to the battlefield, if a creature shares the same color when it enters, the other creatures die. I'm like, okay, I know this is a Highlander game, but give me a break.
It's okay, great. I'm playing a monocolor deck.
Yeah, it just says you don't get to have creatures. For the gamers who are unfamiliar, Spreading Plague is an enchantment for 4 and a black that says whenever a creature dies, destroy all other creatures that share color with it. Wait, they can't be regenerated.
So I lucked out because...
it dies, or is it...
Yeah, it dies.
I thought it was enters. Okay.
No, whenever a creature enters.
Yeah. But I thought...
If it was dies, that would be different, right? Then super, like, Grave Pact.
But
yeah.
Until I remembered that, like, I was giving someone a creature that would kill Megatron, maybe I can wait on that. But all the other times that card was procced, it was on my off turn where Megatron was not a vehicle. I was like, okay, cool, I can dodge that. But yeah, that was a game that, as much as, again, like, I'm whining, being like, it was 2.5 hours, but, like, I had a lot of fun. It was really grindy, and everyone was trying to play the routes, and Brandon was holding everyone hostage with fucking 3 nukes on fucking deck with backup. I'm like, bro, please just fucking pull the trigger, you fucking coward. And then he just ate it. And then he's like, well, I'm gonna go play... God, what was he playing? Fucking Street Fighter or something in the background?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh man, I'm having such a good time. We're like, fuck you, dude.
I mean, he could have ended that game like an hour early, if not like 2 hours early.
He said, "No, we're chilling." I'm like, "Bro, we are not chilling. Get it going."
You are
please.
chilling. We are suffering.
We are
just fucking laser the table for 14, was it? 28, whatever.
I think the assessment was like 21. I don't know.
There were 2 Myojins with 2 counters each, so that's 28 to each of the others.
Okay, 28 to each player. Just do that and then beat the shit out of them with Myojins. Like, let's move on.
Yeah,
exactly.
I hate when non-aggro players don't be aggressive.
You are literally playing a deck of indestructible creatures.
Yeah, I was going.
Why are you not attacking?
7/5s or something.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you not attacking?
Because he's like, nah, bro, we're chilling. It is what it is. But yeah, hey, Megatron good. Megatron fun. Speaking of vehicles.
Yeah, confirmed. Love to dodge that sorcery speed removal by not being a creature.
By just throw up hand sign, pieces out. Yeah. Okay. Elketra was pretty cool that game, despite the fact that you had literally everything against you.
Yeah. Like this deck, I had this deck for like years, and then I was like, I grew tired of it because it was kind of repetitive and hadn't had any new toys in a while, and so it sat on the shelf for what, like 2-3 years without me like touching it, but like no other mono white commanders sparked my interest in that time, and like Elketra's pretty cool.
And you have the
she is pretty cool.
You have that God, what was it?
Yeah,
like
the Comic-Con promo.
Yeah.
Ooh,
sick.
The Comic-Con version. Oh, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I have that whole secret layer. I actually
sick.
I actually traded it from Shivam for, I forget what. I think a couple of masterpieces, like Kaladesh masterpieces, when he was still putting that set together.
Way to help each other complete collections.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the cards are sick. I like play Elketra here. I play Ronus and Kefnet in my Erixmathes deck. I play Bontu in my mono black. I don't play Bolus anywhere because fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Well, I also don't have like a Grixis Planeswalker deck, so like, it's a very specific card, right? So
yeah.
It's like, do you have a Grixis Planeswalker deck? Okay, then you're gonna play it there, right? Or
I literally do, and I don't because fuck that guy.
But no, this deck is sick. Literally, the card that made me want to bring this deck back to life is Dazzling Theater / Prop Room.
Yes, that card
so good.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Dazzling Theater / Prop Room. It's a room, obviously. So Dazzling Theater, 3 and a white. Creature spells you cast have Convoke. This gives this deck like 3 card infinites.
Oh,
make an unbounded amount of creatures.
Oh, yep, okay. No,
and then
I
prop
see your
room
point.
is 2 and a white. Untap each creature you control during each other. So basically, the way that the Oketra deck cooks is that I play a bunch of the when this enters, return a creature to your hand creatures. The key one being white mainline because it has flash.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also Core Skyfisher. There's
Gargoyle.
Jeskai Barricade.
Yeah. I don't play Jeskai Barricade, but I play
Word. Okay.
Core Skyfisher. I play Angel. What's the stupid Angel? Emancipation Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stone Cloaker. I also don't play the Dust Elemental or the 5-mana one that makes soldiers. Because I don't want. Because again, you don't want to have you don't want to overload on those effects because those creatures are kind of meh otherwise. But I mean, the thing is, Oketra spits out 4/4 vigilant zombie warriors when you cast a creature spell, so you want to maximize that. So with the Dazzling Theater, you specifically also need a thing that spits out white tokens, which is currently only Oketra's Monument. Though I have Though I have been informed that the White Defiler also spits out tokens when you cast a creature spell.
That was the one thing I just thought of.
Yeah, I need to get that. But basically, so you need the thing that makes white creature tokens.
Defiler
you need Oketra, and you need the white main. So you basically need a thing you basically need to get 2 creature tokens, at least one of which is white, for casting a creature. Yeah. And ideally the white mainline because of the flash.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically can just make an unbounded amount of creatures.
Okay, yeah, because you just tap your creatures to convoke and then use that to cast the other guy who you return back to your hand.
And convoke
get
and
2 more
convoke
dudes and nice.
Convoke and
then
convoke and
you
convoke.
pass the turn and they all untap because of the other half of the room.
Or well, yeah, I mean, if I'm doing sorcery speed, yeah. Or otherwise, I just do it before my turn and then I just swing at it.
Right, because you have flash.
Yeah.
Also, just this shout out to this deck's secret second commander, which is the spell Unconventional Tactics. Because where the hell else am I going to play that? So Unconventional Tactics, 2 and a white sorcery from Hour of Devastation. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Solid enough, but not really something you want to spend a card on.
Yeah, okay.
Except when a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay white. If you do, return it from the graveyard to your hand.
Okay. So you get to give your zombie army flying.
Yeah. Or, I get to give my double striking commander +3/+3 and flying,
Yeah.
Right, because she's a god too. Or a zombie too, in addition to being
she's a zombie, but but I mean, she's spitting out zombies, right? Which is fine. Mm-hmm. Also, can I just say, unless you literally don't want any creatures on the battlefield, there's no reason to be running base ass Wrath of God anymore. There are enough flavors of Wrath that you can pick the right ones for your deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
This deck, I'm running Hour of Reckoning, which destroys non-token
Hour of Reckoning
creatures.
for tokens, yeah.
I expel the Interlopers. Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number.
That thing did some work the other night.
Yeah. Well, no, it was by invitation only that did work, which is choose a number between 0 and 13. Each player sacrifices that many creatures. Also, sacrifice. This card is underplayed because it forces fucking sacrifice.
Where do I have a copy of that? I know I got it somewhere.
Screw your indestructible, yada, 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 right?
You think
also,
you're so safe.
Also, there's just games where I just flex on people by casting that. It's I have what? Even if I have 50 creatures, I'll just cast this for 13 and maybe I lose some real creatures, but I still have enough to kill everyone.
Zero consequences to it. It's
just I have 5 creatures on the board. Sack 13.
Yeah.
Sack 13.
Do you foresee yourself putting on Wings of Gold in this deck from the Hippodrift Precon? Creatures you control that are zombies and or tokens get +1/+1 have flying. There's another half of that thing.
Oh, yeah. I need... there are definitely some cards from that Precon I'm eyeing for this deck. Sadly, the Precons had already been pre-sold out at my LGS, so I'm going to have to buy singles.
Yeah.
Oh, also shout out to Fanatical Devotion in this deck. 2 and a white enchantment, sack a creature, regenerate target creature.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. That'll make sure that you get to keep half of your board in the event of a board wipe that you can't dodge, and you can also just like protect anybody for basically free because you make so many bodies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, O'Hare Attack is just not a fair Magic card.
It's really not.
Those cycle of cards are just pretty freaking ridiculous across the board.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Axonil. Oh my god, every time.
What a Magic the Gathering
card. Quinn.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that you have Prava of the Steel Legion in here because you guys are just like...
yeah, because they're all tokens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, now my zombies are 5/8, right? Like...
And my queen, Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite.
Well, yeah, I mean...
She's 4 Glorious Anthems in a trench coat. I would never begrudge a mono white deck that.
Yeah. And I also have the Judge Foil Phyrexian version. You know, the original first Phyrexian card.
Yes, because you gotta flex on them. You gotta.
Yeah. Let's see. Also just, there's some sweet... I mean, this deck plays some sweet cards that I don't get to play elsewhere, right? Like, Luminous Broodmoth is fun, and...
Love her.
Erratic Portal. Like, if I don't have a white main lion, I can build my own.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Fine.
Also, just
Fine,
also you just
then,
occasionally... Also, you occasionally will catch people slipping. It's like, oh, you're tapped out?
Oh, you have no mana to pay for this? Yoink, get that out of here.
Swinging with my Dragonhawk. I'm fully tapped out because I don't care about anything. And you're just like, return that to your hand unless you pay one. Well, Charlotte, I don't have any mana.
Yeah. Also, fucking Thraben Charm. Play that card.
Oh,
people.
it's so good. Yeah. Severely underplayed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
White mana gets burn spells, and it also destroys the target enchantment.
We've talked enough about Oketra, I think. We have more decks to discuss.
Well, Quinn, you said that it's Aether Drift brewing season.
It sure is Aether Drift brewing season, so I got a bunch of shit. We can start with my main girl, Far Fortune End Boss. She's the 2 and a black and a red for a 4/5 legendary creature human mercenary with starter engines. Whenever you attack, Far Fortune deals 1 damage to each opponent, and at max speed, if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 1 instead. I built a go wide token aggro deck with a lot of the max speed cards that I thought were cool and impactful, and my favorite Rakdos aggro soup ingredients. So I didn't optimize the deck for Far Fortune, but I did just play like all of the good cards that I wanted to play. And the deck does exactly what I wanted it to do. We get to max speed pretty quickly, so we can take advantage of her damage modification ability. We do a little burn damage on attackies. We go wide with largely like goblins. I think if I was gonna rebuild this with less like soup ingredients and more like Far Fortune specific cards, I would go harder on the inclusion of more goblins per goblin. And is this a Drawnew's Crusade deck? Do I just play like cheap zombie token makers and cheap goblin makers and goblin zombies? Like, we're thinking about that, so maybe we come back to that.
Oh, that card. Yeah, I mean, you know, it could synergize. I could see it.
Yeah, we're gonna think some more about that. We might have a deck in the future that's like Far Fortune and Zombie Lords and Goblin Rabble Masters and Drawnew's Crusade.
Kind of fucked up, but okay, cool.
So there's that, and I've got like a bunch of Aether Drift decks, so we can get to one of you all's other entries, and we'll come back to some of these later.
All right. May I jump in?
Yeah, go for it.
What you got for
us? All right, let's talk about the second game we played.
Yes.
On Saturday.
I wasn't there for that, but I did. I heard about it pretty quickly because I literally.
Yeah, I was there.
I left. I was gone. I went somewhere, came back, and said, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah. So Xyrus, the Writhing Storm, happened. Snake Mother served Snake. So for those who don't know, Xyrus, the Writhing Storm, 2 green, blue, red, legendary creature, Snake Leviathan, 3/5 flying. Whenever an opponent draws a card, except for the first card they draw
In each of their draw steps, create a 1/1 green snake creature token. Also, when Xyrus the Rising Storm deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each draw that many cards.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it is a wheels deck. It's a wheels card draw
token making deck.
Basically, the theme of the deck is to win with the snakes, right? Mm-hmm. I don't play draw Punisher cards. I don't play Razorkin Needlehead. I don't play,
Boo!
That sort of stuff. If I wanted a Nekusar deck, I'd build a Nekusar deck.
Yeah, right? Okay, fair enough.
But because it's based on the snakes, I can play Impact Tremors effects, which very much came into play in that game with a turn 2 Agate Instigator.
Oh no.
This fucking lizard rogue from the Bloomborough precons, which is one in a red. It's basically Impact Tremor on legs. 1/3 with Offspring for 1 in a red. Didn't have Offspring here because I needed it for mana.
Didn't need it.
But yeah. So it was what? Turn 2 Agate Instigator. Turn 3 Cryptolith Rite. And Kami of the Crescent Moon. Is that right?
I don't remember the exact order that those came in.
But yeah, basically it was Agate Instigator.
First.
Yeah, it was Agate Instigator, Kami of the Crescent Moon, Cryptolith Rite. Then it was a turn 4 Xyrus.
These freaking green decks, I tell you,
I ended up
cheating.
I ended up with 6 snakes when it got back around to my turn.
And then you were off to the races.
Oh no, I got 2 attacks. Oh no, I got 2 attacks in. No, I think I had 3 snakes because I'd gone a turn cycle with the Kami, so I had 3 snakes from that. Then I hit someone with Xyrus for 3. I ended up with 6 snakes.
Was me.
Yeah, and then basically, anyway, whatever. Ended up the critical turn. I drop Shared Animosity. Swing with 6 snakes and Xyrus, so all of them get +6/+0. Deal like 21 snake damage to Quinn. To someone else. Hit another person for 9, make 9 more snakes, get 9 more damage triggers from the Agate Instigator. I think leave someone at like 2 or 3 life. Like
barely hanging on. Yeah,
Quinn
was dead. Someone else was
draws
dead.
That died to Impact Tremors automatically.
Basically,
Boo, my God.
But I'd also drawn into other stuff. So I dropped like an Earthcraft, and I could have cast other stuff to like make people draw cards and do other shit. And it was like, yeah, this deck. I mean, it's a fast deck. It's a strong deck. Like this is a bracket 4 deck, even though it runs, I think, 1 Game Changer. It runs Ancient Tomb, right?
Yeah, but this is where the intent comes.
Yeah, this is bracket 4. This is gloves off, balls to the wall. I'm gonna make snakes. I'm gonna kill you. I have stuff in there for like late game, but like this was, I think, the platonic ideal of a Xyrus game.
Yeah,
which really had everything that you needed in the perfect order to just fucking cut everyone's head off. It was efficient.
I mean, I maybe would have preferred to win without the Agate Instigator and just snake attacks, but like
just turn things sideways. Yeah,
like swap out the Agate Instigator for like Throne of the God Pharaoh, and I think it's the perfect game for that deck. But also like shout out to fun cards that you get to play in this deck, like Junkyo Bell, which really should just see more play in general. Like any of your upkeep, you can have target creature.
Brandon is always saying that actually he's a Junkyo Bell fan too.
Yeah, I mean, I play this here. I play this in my like Gisa Zombies deck. Like it's a good card. But yeah, I mean, this deck is disgusting and runs stuff that probably should be game changers, like Earthcraft. Opposition.
I don't think I've seen anybody do anything like air quotes of fair with an Earthcraft. You pretty much like only put that in if you're being extremely like
this is like
very much like
also getting to play Xenagos the Reveler as a freaking as a freaking ritual is great.
Oh yeah,
yes.
that guy he's so.
I'm gonna pay
when
4, put him down, and I'll add like 20.
Mana.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
an obscene amount. Yeah, no. I was gonna say just so anytime that I hear someone talking about how they're breaking the game over their kneecaps with Earthcraft, it's the same way that I see people that are like, this rando card really works well with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I'm like, I fucking know it does. Because that's the only thing you fucking talking about. We know, we've been there. Oh, we've broken Earthcraft again. Yeah, no shit, we fucking been there, done that.
Earthcraft breaks with a ham sandwich.
Yeah,
Like,
just
any
give me a
token
freaking
maker. You don't need Squirrel Nest to break it. You can break it with other shit. Like,
you breathe.
you just
and
need
you're like,
something
where
that
all this
poops
mana
out
come
tokens.
from? Wow. Just
yeah.
kills me every time.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I like this deck. I have alt win cons in the deck that I've never won with, but I do want to win with Epic Struggle sometime.
Epic Struggle. Oh god.
Beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more creatures, you win the game.
Oh,
nice.
god. Oh no.
Yeah, that's doable.
Okay, yeah.
I also run Strixhaven Stadium.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Which is great. The fun thing, the tech with Strixhaven Stadium is if you hit a bunch of people with, say, a bunch of snake tokens, you can stack the triggers.
Ooh.
And you only need to have hit someone with 1 if you have enough triggers to stack that as the 10th trigger to make them lose the game.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
I had this thought, does Strixhaven Stadium trigger off of Double Strike at different times?
Yeah, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you put a point counter on it.
Well, good enough for me. Kill one person, kill the other person.
Yep.
Sounds good. I do need to play that card in something. I just don't think I've ever quite found the right deck for it.
Also, shout out to Sword of the Squeak, the new card from the Bloomborough Commander decks. That is awesome in this deck. Because we obviously need Snake Mother to get bigger and draw us more cards. Right?
Of course. Yeah, so good and include there.
Oh my god. But yeah, hey, snakes go burr. Go figure.
Snakes go burr. I think it was turn 6 when I won.
Yeah.
I think that you said that, yeah. Because
yeah.
I stepped away for a bit, or something happened. I came back, looked at my phone, and was like, "What the fuck? It's only been a half an hour."
Yeah, well, it balanced out the 2.5 hour games. So.
It did. It really did. So
we still
thank you
got
for
our 3
that.
games in. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do we got here? I guess I'll just say my last bit here for my deck, because I only put 2 up. I think I probably could have more up, but like this particular one frickin' is something else. So I'm back on my anti-flash bullshit again, unsurprising to no one, because this has become one of my favorite decks very quickly. I was overwhelming splendored by my own cast because Untimely Malfunction just simply said, "How about it's on you instead?"
Oh no.
And my friend Mike, who does not listen to podcasts and will never hear this, and I looked at him dead in the eyes and I said, "I fucking hate your Valgavoth deck. I will not mince any words because
he's
it is
responsible
a miserable."
for that tweet.
Yes, he was, because I said the other day, I'm like, I fucking hate red-black Valgavoth because I described it as the Misery Olympics deck, where it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter whose turn it is, because unless you deal with Valgavoth, every game action will have a consequence that not only allows you to just take damage for existing, for breathing, the opponent will then draw cards and put counters on Valgavoth. So the Untimely Malfunction was just simply a consequence of being part of the deck composition, because Untimely Malfunction is a cool fucking card. But I was like, I fucking need to deal with you right now. I will cast Overwhelming Splendor, to which he said Uno reverse card. And I'm like, fuck! So, someone else got a cast, Casualties of War? Or whatever They're like, all right, blow up this land, blow up your overwhelming splendor. I'm like, thank you, Dan. Bless you, man. And fucking get me out of my own
life.
my own personal hell. I had already cast. I have a copy of Break the Spell in my deck. In the odd time that I need to, like, destroy my own enchantment from going to exile or some reason that someone fucking flips the script on me or whatever, I had cast it earlier on someone else's enchantment that I'm like, this thing's gonna be a fucking annoying-ass problem. He's like, why would you do that? I'm like, no reason. And then the Overwhelming Splendor thing happened. I'm like, I could have drawn a card off of fucking this, casted the spell. I should have waited. Now,
couldn't have known
my alternative option to dealing with the ever-growing large Valgavoth was casting The Sound of Drums, which has been a very fun
Doctor
recent
Who
addition.
mentioned.
Yeah, got to get our Doctor Who quota in here today. So, just as usual, overall, all the changes that I've been making to this list have been great. The Enchantresses have been doing their work. The burn effects are doing their work. Anti-Flash, bringing back key utility pieces. I actually had, I was able to flash out Anti-Flash with Danitha, in the graveyard, and then on my turn, Danitha was able to bring back something else. So it was like, it feels very good to have this kind of like cohesive, like recursion package of getting my curses back out, get like Draconic Destiny on something, get the Sound of Drums on something else if needed. And having that balance between, like, Aikido, leave me the fuck alone, go this way, versus just being, like, recently... So, Quinn, you told me to put in that, saga that was...
Michiko's Reign of Truth.
Yeah, so you told me to put that in, and then I'm like... Oh, but how
do I kill people in this deck? And I was like, play another copy of all the glitters.
Yeah, so the trade-off for this was that I finally got the Selesnya MDFC. That is that.
Oh, nice.
So I can't fucking remember what that spell was, but yeah, it's been great. I love where the deck is right now. I'm hoping to get some more gameplay out of it. It's definitely like a 3 compared to a 2 on the bracket system, because I'm like, I will be killing you with this deck, or I'm making you kill other people with this deck. There is no in between. It's so fun.
It's Strength of the Harvest, Cole.
Strength of the Harvest, thank you. Yeah, you'd think I should actually like properly put the link in the show notes that we have and get that ready for viewing, but I was like, I've talked about this deck enough. I'll show it somewhere else. But yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. I was tilted into the sun for more than one reason that game, and yeah. I'll talk more about Commander stuff next time. I've only managed to get a handful of games in since the move in, and
yeah, you were doing a bunch of moving and shit, so like there wasn't a whole lot of time for you to get your gaming in.
Oh, hold on. Actually, now that I remember it, but you two will be able to see it, but I have these IKEA shelves that are just the right size to fit from, like, not wall to wall, but like I got a couple inches on the side, and I'm going to be having them above my computer, and I'm going to be putting my commander decks on here. Nice. So I will then reallocate deck space around. Like, I have a shelf in this room, and I got all this other stuff. I'm gonna cook in this room. I'm very fucking excited, but I will just be like, grab deck, let's go. No,
so it really is the cool room.
Yeah. Behold my stuff as I am. This room is so cool, as I say, as I'm jorking it to my commander cards. Oh Christ. Okay. Let's go over the rest of your two's decks here, because I got nothing else for the rest of this.
Swag, all right. Charlotte, what you got?
Okay. Well, I have a story that I promised you all, so we'll do that one first.
Yeah.
So I literally lost the game because I sawed in half my own Fiendish duo.
Oh, shit.
Explain.
Okay, so Fiendish Duo is a card from one of the Game Night boxes. I don't think it's been reprinted ever. It's a 6-mana devil.
I think it's got
for
like one reprint in the Nelly Borca precon, and then the other reprint is
okay.
in the
No, it also
promo.
Yeah, it was a call time promo, and it was also in Foundation Jumpstart. So it's had some reprints.
Oh shit!
Come down, which is
yeah.
good. I do need to see. Oh, there are. Yeah. Anyway, so Fiendish Duo, 4 red, 5/5 devil, first strike. The important part, though, is if a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage to that player instead. So, I'm playing my Rakdos, the Showstopper, Demon Tribal deck. Game's getting to like the end point. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to try and close this out. I have this, saw in half that's been sitting in my hand for a while. It's like, sure, Fiendish Duo is a good target. I also have Whip of Erebos, so the plan is to Fiendish Duo, saw the Fiendish Duo in half, then whip back the original.
Nice.
And, yeah. I also have, like, the whip, and I have the, Conjurer's Closet, so that's like whip it back and flicker it at end of turn.
Yeah.
Right?
Love that.
But yeah, that. So I do that. So I saw it in half. I have that. I go to my turn. I do all of that nonsense. I whip back the other one. So now I'm dealing 8 times damage to my opponents if I hit them. Right. However, I attack and I get Galadriel's Dismissal because that card is utter bullshit.
No, it's not. That is a fair and balanced Magic the Gathering card.
It's a fog, but like...
Get gone. See you later.
It's going on the fucking Game Changers list.
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so it's like, whatever. I mean, I got
various
fog,
protections
sure.
going on first before that, but sorry.
The problem is, it's like, okay, well, then I can do this next turn or whatever, right? Because they all phase out. My tokens will come back. It's fine. Unfortunately, the player to my left, who's on a Shillingar deck. I think they were a newer player. This was my LGS. Might have been like one of the first decks they'd built themselves. It was neat. It was kind of unfocused, but it was cool. They had freaking Camball from Thunder Junction, Camball Corrupt Mare or something.
Guy. Fuck that card, I tell you.
Yeah, so
but
Campbell,
also they piggybacked to Fiendish Duo. Fuck, they got oh no, they're Fiendish Duo, no.
So they have a 3/3 token Fiendish Duo, right?
Oh no!
Because whenever one or more tokens enter under an opponent's control, for each of them you make. Oh no! Sorry, no, they would have gotten both. Fuck. Oh, they had one. I thought I misread. They should have had both. But anyway, yeah. So they have these Fiendish Duo tokens as well, and they kill me while my shields are down, and so I fucking die because I tried to optimize my own board.
That's so rough. Oh man.
This Campbell
is though.
Yeah.
That Campbell
also,
really
I somehow again I was like completely checked out for like all of Thunder Junction, so this is definitely a card I think I need to get for my Alesha Treasures deck because 2 power and all that other bullshit. Yeah.
So I have played him, I think, precisely once, and I got through, I think, like a half of a turn cycle before gamers were like, all right, that's enough of that shit. Removal spell.
If we're talking about cards, because Fitz is totally correct, and there are just random ass cards that fucking tilt me into the sun, it is definitely this new fucking combo, because I'm like, look, I would rather play against the other one. I would rather just be drained and have a 4-point life loss swing against me because at least I can control that. I can figure out what I'm going to do.
You can control that one too. Don't play any fucking tokens.
It doesn't matter if they're giving me the tokens, Quinn. It doesn't fucking matter. They just like, cool, how about you also make treasure tokens? What if you make a clue token? How about fuck you? And I'm like, fine, all right, I guess I'll fucking make these treasure tokens. They're like, but wait, here we go. And then you're just, I'm so annoyed. I'm so upset.
Oh, so they're like blowing your stuff up with the white mana, replace it with the token type spells, and then getting their cut.
Yeah, it's literally
and
it.
burning you for it too. Fuck that.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Hello, Quinn. Hello. This is the It's a Griswold deck, but it's Orzhov instead of Golgari. You know, like.
While I'm on my demon bullshit, can I just like go off again on just how fucking good Demonic Covenant is?
Yeah, that's the one from the horror set.
No,
Yes,
it's from
Commander.
Yeah.
Dustmourn Commander, yeah. Kindred enchantment, 4 black. Whenever one or more demons you control attack a player, you draw a card and lose a life. So there's up to 3 cards on each of your turns. But at the beginning of your end step, you make a 5/5 black demon with flying. And then you mill 2 cards, and if 2 cards that share all their types were milled, you sack the Covenant. But the way my Rakdos deck is built, it's a good mix of stuff, right?
Yeah,
so it's not.
So it's unlikely to hit.
This thing literally has lasted like the whole fucking game a lot of the time, and it's like it's a freaking engine, right? It's card draw. Like even if you don't play demons. Even if you don't play demons, it's worth playing on its own, right? Like
because it gives you one. It's
Can
like
I
the
give this
the
card?
Annex Ritual Chamber. Like that one is just a Phyrexian Arena, but it also gives you the demon to turn on the other part. I think that
not to mention like I mean it's a demon deck, so but not to mention that just having a demon token named Demon is good when you're running like Liliana's Contract and stuff too, right?
Let me get that generic named demon. We'll run those numbers up. I'm gonna get this W.
I think I'm gonna be putting this in that speed demon deck if I get around to it.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Also, people, if you're playing beefy creatures, play Sarkhan's Unsealing. That card is nuts.
Yeah, that card is fucking awesome.
Still very strong. Yeah, I have gotten my board state and my life total ruined by that pretty recently, actually.
Yeah. Let's see what else is there to talk about in this deck while I'm here. Both Valgavoths are horrifying cards.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to reiterate on that. I think we've said enough.
I did a little one-night stand with the mono black Valgavoth for a night. That was fun.
Quinn, you'll be proud I play Plague Drone in the deck.
Yes, shut that shit down. They don't need to be gaining life. Hell yeah.
How about you lose life instead?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Also shout out to like new card Perforating Artist, which is just annoying enough.
Oh yeah,
is that the one that's just like if I've done the raid trigger on end step, you do like 1 instance of Torment of Hailfire?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love that guy. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm getting ideas. Anyway.
And then just other stuff like I don't know. It's interesting making like typal decks that have a high mana value because you have to like figure out what your low end's gonna be.
I mean, thankfully, like it's doing. I don't know, like Rakdos is doing part of the work there for that, but also like what are the alternative backup methods for you to get all that stuff out to make sure that you don't just freaking die.
I think it's interesting in Rakdos in particular, because like in the if you're playing like Leviathan typal, then your space in between your Leviathans is obviously just going to be like Cultivates and Kodamas Reaches to help you get to those guys faster. But in Rakdos, you don't have as good of options for that, so you get to just like pick a collection of rituals maybe, or little devils or whatever you're gonna space with.
In my case, like All-Star Heartless Summoning, which just got a reprint with sick Gisa art, like...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That card is like an All-Star, especially like... It's like, oh no, my commander is now a 5/5 Flample for 4 instead of a 6/6 Flample for 6, right? Like... it doesn't work if you're not playing big creatures, but if you're playing like dragons or angels or whatever, like... Play the fucking Heartless Summoning, like... for those who don't know, Heartless Summoning, 1 and a black enchantment. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and creatures you control get -1/-1.
Oh, that's Gisa art is so cheap, too.
Yeah, it's so... Yeah. If there was ever
a time... Also, like, I've just been running all the cheap scam cards in this deck because it's like, I paid 6 mana for my demon. I am not letting it die to your fucking
let's
Doomblade.
Fucking
like,
go.
It's so funny when they think they've got you and then you hit the Feign Death and you dab on them.
Yeah. Feign Death, Malakut Rebirth, Not Dead After All, Supernatural Stamina, Undying Evil, Undying Malice, and then Fake Your Own Death because it makes
a full suite of them, all of the good ones.
Yeah, all the 1 mana ones, and then the 2 mana one that makes a treasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've
And then
gotten
in lieu of
Quinn
that, saw in
more
half.
than a few times with that stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
like
also
the one
just
that
because this
accuses
deck
them.
is also because this deck is slow, I play like a small amount of stacks, just enough to like slow people down. Shout out to Mudslide from Ice Age.
Why? Hold on. Why is
2
this
in a red
already upsetting
enchantment.
me?
Creatures with flying don't untap during their controller's unstep, but you can pay 2 in the upkeep to untap.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, I did play against this. Still annoying, but also what a way to like weaponize. They're like flying creatures can win commander games. You're like, cool, so turn that shit off. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, no, my flying creature that's super pivotal to my entire strategy. No, yeah, it sucks.
No. Well, no. Mudslide turns off non-flying creatures.
Oh no,
right?
sorry, I take it back. It's far worse.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Flying wins games.
I also
Shout out
just
to your
played.
Trinisphere. Hell yeah, we're playing
Yeah,
fair
just
fucking magic.
It's just the fairest Trinisphere. Like, we're paying 3 mana for spells. I'm not cheating this shit. You're not cheating this shit. Done. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I have my deck is full of 6 and 7 drops. Like, we're gonna pay 3 mana for our spells, and we're gonna like it. Like, I'm not
That's
tapping
beautiful.
it. I'm not like being coy with
there's
it. It's
literally
like, no.
nothing like rude going on with that. Besides, I'm enforcing
It
fair
is the
magic.
world's fairest Trinisphere.
I like to see it.
Yeah.
I do love
I
the
don't-
suite of demons in this deck.
This deck
It's
is
so-
fun and dumb, and I get to play cool cards, and so yeah, it's good. Oh, also shout out to Shelob Dreadweaver just for like the exile clause, because that is
Yeah.
surprisingly useful.
She's a demon. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, you
Warhammer
can sometimes
40K.
get stuff that dies, like, yeah. Well, she's Lord of the Rings, but like, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, the
I was-
Dread Drone
yeah.
is 40k.
Yep.
The Dread Drone, the Herald of Slaanesh, the the Bloodthirster.
Demon Typal got quite the boost with that Powers of Chaos deck, and I'm living.
Oh, also shout out to Seance Board. That card goes fucking nuts.
I don't think
Oh,
I've seen that
yeah.
in action yet, but it had potential when I was reading the text on it. I'm like,
I am
this
just
can go somewhere,
annoyed.
right?
I'm just annoyed that it says instant or sorcery because it makes the card more expensive for the demon and spirit players. Like,
I
Yeah,
still
that
don't.
makes sense. Other
so
gamers
for
out
those who
there
don't know,
getting
Seance
paid off for
Board,
casting
2 mana
removal spells.
artifact from Duskmourn Commander. Morbid. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this board, put a soul counter on it. And you tap it for X mana of any one color, X's number of soul counters, but you can only spend it on instant sorceries, demons, or spirit spells. Like, yeah, it's good. Alright, that's
It's
enough
good
about
indeed.
demons. But demons are cool. I like demons. They're my like big
Just-
like
Just
ooh,
remember, gamers.
I am a demon girl, like a
Yeah,
like a
for
horse
every-
girl,
okay.
but for demons.
Nice.
There are the 3 Kaalia Horsegirls of the apocalypse, and it's demons, angels, and dragons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also
Everybody's
a horse girl.
One of them.
I'm also
Oh,
a horse
God,
girl
do
for
I-
sphinxes. But
Do I
like,
call...
you know,
Yes.
Sorry, I think we just found the episode title is the 3 Kaalia Horsegirls of the apocalypse. There
or
we
just
go.
the three
All right.
just the 3 horse girls of the apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
okay.
go.
Yeah,
That's clear.
yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
I wanted to call
Alright,
something
cool.
for the brackets, but I'm like, no, we can do better.
Yeah. Anyway, Quinn's turn. Talk about more ether drift
I got
bullshit.
an Ether Drift brew for you. So up next, I've got the our beloved blue eyeball gamer Vinwixt. Verbose host. They have start your engines. Actually, Vinwixt uses him in the story, so let me do that. He's got start your engines. You have no maximum hand size. And at max speed, if you would draw a card, draw 2 cards instead. So there's just the fucking hard draw replacement for draw 2, even on the one in your draw step, which you don't see on
Yeah, you don't see that
cards
often at
this
all.
cheap.
Yeah.
It's usually on like 6 mana enchantments and shit. So that was pretty special to see here. The initial idea was just like, do I just play like Flying Men and Coastal Piracies? And then I was like, yes, but that's completely sauceless. And so I thought about maybe finding a creative brew or whatever, and then circled back around to, you know what? Simple ingredients. Not everything needs to have the fucking sauce.
Yeah.
And so we piled together our ginger brewed and our slither blade and our Triton shore stalker and our thousand-faced shadows. And we just fucking, it's literally flying men and coastal piracies.
What's her name? What's the Umezawa that makes 1 power toughness things on board?
Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive.
Yeah.
Absolutely in the deck.
Yeah.
I got a cephalid face taker. We've got a detective of the month because detectives can't be blocked, and then we're getting in there for damage. I've got Grazilax as a coastal piracy. He's more of a Timna, but we're still gonna let him slide because also, if you block my shitty little flying men, Grazilax will send them back to my hand so I can recast those guys. I'm not losing anything.
Yeah, it's pretty. I need to play.
Do you play the enchantment? That's also what Grazilax does.
I think Cunning Evasion. No, I don't have that one. It's just Grazilax. I keep thinking about that, and then it doesn't make the cut because I just like I care because Grazilax also draws the cards.
Well,
but
yeah,
I don't care
Grazilax is the
just
2 for 1, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, as I'm like, I need to find my fucking copy of Grazilax. Where is that guy? I know he's here.
You do, and we really do have like all of the coastal piracies. There's a Bident of Thassa coastal piracy reconnaissance mission. We've got the fucking locker room. That's basically a Timna when you unlock that half.
Yeah.
I've got
all right, here's Grazilax.
Robe of the Archmagi. So when I deal combat damage, I can draw that many cards, and I don't even have anybody who meets the type requirements. I don't think we're just hard spending the 4 mana and.
Sorry, I might have blanked what you said. Do you have Mask of the Schemer?
I don't think I'm allowed to play that. Is that
Mask of the
blue?
Schemer's blue.
Quinn,
is it just blue?
Quinn, have you considered Sword of the Squeak?
Sword of the Squeak. I
know you mentioned it earlier, and I did not look it up, but now I'm...
2 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control with base power or toughness 1.
Oh, it's perfect. So this is
there
the
we
deck
go.
for that.
I was gonna say,
then it has an auto-equip for, like, hamsters, mice, rats, and squirrels, for rodents, basically.
Which, like, cool, whatever. I'm already cheating, like, on one axis of it. But...
I mean, it has Hero's Blade trigger, so...
It is.
Yeah,
gotta be good, right?
I'm into that. But yeah, I'm just fucking... It's all coastal piracies and flying men all the way down, and I need to figure out a better win condition, because I don't really have anything besides drawing cards, and Kraz Unstoppable Juggernaut. But I think recently I added Ormos Archive Keeper.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Kraz, yeah.
Where is... You have 120,000 fucking flying men. Where is your fucking Candlekeep fucking... inspiration? I know you got a low number.
Instants and sorceries
you could bump up the number. You don't need this many fucking flying men.
No, I need this many flying men is the
thing. No, you don't.
That's the whole point. It's flying men and coastal piracy.
Okay, but then you need... Okay. What is... Moxfield, show me the way.
Strixhaven Stadium is a possibility.
Okay. That's a good one. Could be fun. Let me add this to considering literally right now.
Strixhaven Stadium... What else is there? You could do stuff like Triskaidekaphile or what's the stupid Sphinx? What's the stupid Sphinx that wins if you have like 6 different mana values?
Attempsis, yeah.
Oh, she's beautiful. I could
also maybe 20-toed Toad.
Graz is like your overrun, so like I can kind of see it here.
Yeah. So Attempsis. Triskaidekaphile, 20-toed Toad.
True, yeah. I don't know. You could have your mix of, like, wide, tall, and just win the game buttons. So, like, you know.
Also, Wizards, can we talk about how the art for 20-toed Toad does not show the feet?
Okay, this is not where we're gonna be fucking talking about this. I don't need to be talking about some fucking frog's feet on this fucking podcast.
Okay, listen. Release the toes cut. Anyway, I just remembered that the Indomitable was a coastal piracy that I forgot, so we're gonna see if we can find room for that one in there, because I gotta have all my coastal piracies, you know the drill.
Yeah,
but anyway, just The thing about drawing cards is it's the most fun that you can have without, well, you know how the rest of that joke goes. It is extremely good to touch a bunch of cards, and this lets you touch a bunch of cards. So that's the move, gamers. Just to draw the cards and have.
I find it funny you literally have 38 islands in this list.
Yeah, I could have like Nixthos Shrine to Nyx or something, but I was just like, the preliminary brew was literally just like, all right, here's all of these vegetables, we'll pour that in, this and that, and we're gonna ship it.
Good enough.
Wouldn't Free Tree City be better if you're running like 1-drop Flying Men?
Doesn't that have a
it's creature type thing? Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be like,
I was thinking it was just like creatures of the color. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the highest like concentration of shared types is human, followed by ninja, followed by merfolk, and everything else is like disconnected. So there is no typal crossover here in any significant way.
Yeah, not really. We do have 5 whole ninjas, though, so I am not beating the allegations of every time that one guy shows up in the chat I'm talking about ninjas.
I am thinking, though, like, one, you obviously had to get your boy Kaito in here, which you did, but because you have perhaps such, like, an absurd saturation of flying men out at the same time, you could end up playing Kaito on the turn that you can get him to -9.
I would like for that to happen one time. I play Kaido, I go to combat, I make enough loyalty to ultimate him that turn, and then we just fucking have even more bodies for the cause.
It's a lot of stuff to go over. Much to think about, obviously, but I don't think we're going to be hitting all the big win buttons tonight.
Yeah.
Go back.
I also don't know if I'm gonna do more than just this like a one night stand with this deck. Like it was fun, but I don't know if the substance for a deck that I want to keep around for a long time is there.
Well, no.
Somebody else get a list of this guy on my desk though. I would like to see it.
Let's see here. Charlotte, you mentioned your Helga deck earlier.
Oh yeah, Helga Mutate, formerly an Angus McKenzie Mutate deck, which was just formerly an Angus McKenzie Fog deck. Because when you're
that is a very strange transition line there.
Well, I mean, I had an Angus deck, and it's like, you know, when you're running a Fog deck, you do need win cons, right? So
yeah,
typically yes.
And it's like, Mutate is fun. Let's try that. Oh, Mutate is fun.
It really is.
Yeah. And so I had it as Angus, and then I just got tired of Angus because it's just like, if you're running it kind of telegraphs that this is the Fog deck. And then Helga came out, and it's like, okay, yeah, we'll try Helga. It's like, oh, literally just swapping the one card up this deck from like a 2 to a 3, right? Like,
yeah, that's so wild.
Because hey,
modern day Magic cards are kind of fucked up.
Because for those who don't know, what is her? I can never remember her full name because she's usually like has something mutated on top of her, so I don't. I think
she's Helga Skittish Seer.
Yeah, Helga Skittish Seer, green, white, blue, 1/3 legendary frog druid. When you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, you draw a card, gain a life, and put a 1/1 counter on Helga. Tap at X mana of any one color. Yeah, where X is Helga's power. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells with mana value of 4 or greater, or creature spells with X in their mana cost.
Great.
So yeah, she does everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, the deck has now been tuned to be focused around her. Basically, you want to mutate something beefy-ish onto her,
which is easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you basically tweak the deck to make as many effects in the deck as possible be creatures with mana value 4 or greater. Mm-hmm. Because we want to maximize those triggers, and this card is disgusting. I mean, it gets out of hand in general just by casting stuff. But yeah, cards that completely break this in half are things like Pemin's Aura, Freed from the Real.
Yeah, those are known combo pieces from the Zaxara deck, I think. That's where I usually see those.
Chakram Retriever.
Nice.
Chakram Retriever is disgusting in this. It's best doggo, though. Obviously.
Very cute.
Yeah. Also, just, but it's interesting because this is a deck that doesn't make... It's not a go wide, it's a go tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you are putting a pile... Ideally, you're putting a pile of mutates on her on top of using her.
Well,
mana.
at least one, and then... But you're not having, like... It's not making a ton of tokens. You're not going super wide. So basically, you want... So it's interesting because you need to play cards that are based off of power rather than number of creatures, right? So you want your overwhelming stampede rather than your... rather than just an overrun. You don't want Crater Hoof. You want like Pathbreaker Ibex, which I am so looking forward to getting one of those special guest printings because that art is sick.
I don't think I saw that one, but that does sound pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, it's like a weird. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. The deck gets out of hand. Also another card that is just not fair in this deck is Grufix, God of Horizons.
Oh, yeah. Helga gets that offshore account to stuff all that mana when she's...
Offshore account, plus no maximum hand size, which I want anyway. Also, you'd be surprised how much life you gain just gaining one life at a time.
For all those iterative casts, it adds up.
Yeah, so we're running Crested Sunmare because why not, right?
Hell yeah. We're just printing out larges.
I think if there's anything this episode has really just established is that we do love just making 5/5 tokens in whatever capacity we can.
Also, shout out to Thundering Mightmare. That card is disgusting and broken in this deck.
I finally picked up a copy.
That, and then Cole the same day was like posting the tweet and then like the shopping cart saying that he bought the Thundering Mightmare.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Thundering Mightmare is one of the, not in the deck, it was because for a while they were doing these weird thing where there were commander cards that were like in collector boosters but not in the commander decks. Anyway, it's from Crimson Vowed Commander. 4 and a green for a 3/3 Horse Spirit, which is cool. Also, randomly gets indestructible from the Crested Sunmare as a bonus.
Great, fantastic.
Nice.
Yep. So it's 3/3 with Soul Bond, and as long as it's paired with another creature, each of those creatures has Mana Gorger Hydra text. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, right? So it's like, I'll pair this with Helga and get her huge, so she's gaining 6 or 7 counters a turn cycle before it comes back to me. And
Gee, Charlotte, how come your deck lets you have 2 Mana Gorger Hydras?
Yeah. Well, I can't run Mana Gorger Hydra anymore because it's only 3 mana, right?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. So obviously you have to get a bigger one and you need 2 of them because you spent more mana on it.
Yeah, that's the math.
I literally, other than X creatures, I literally only run 2 creatures in the deck. Well, not counting Helga, that are 3 mana or less. I run the Guardian Augmenter because it protects her.
Oh, I love that fucking card. It's so cool.
Yeah. So 2 and a green, 2/2 flash, Troll Wizard, commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have hexproof. And I also run the Hydroelectrics. And I also play the Hydroelectric Specimen, which is the modal double-faced land from Modern Horizons. 2 and a blue, 1/4 flash. When it enters, you can basically redirect a spell, instant or sorcery, with a single target to it. So,
It's a muck drop, if the gamers remember that guy.
Yeah. But it's also a land sometimes.
Have a copy of that card somewhere.
It's also a land sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the deck is sick. Random all-stars that just do a lot more than they do. Horizon Chimera, just gaining me a life when I draw a card is sweet. Also, Flying Trample's a really good mutate base. Questing Beast, so I can bash through my own fogs. Because I still run 6 or 7 fogs from the fog days because, hey, fogs are good. I'm also
I haven't gotten got by fogs recently.
I'm also not super up on wiping the board in a deck that is this creature heavy, so...
Yeah, for sure. So you just play Fogs instead, like, then it's not my problem.
I mean, I do play 2 Wraths because you gotta eat your vegetables, right? But...
Of course.
Again, play the right Wraths for your deck. So in this case, I'm playing Promise of Loyalty and Slash the Ranks, so I get to keep my commander.
Nice.
Also, Haystack, because Haystack.
I haven't gotten to play with that yet, but it's so funny to just like, and I'm just gonna stick this guy in a haystack.
Haystack is like one of the only mutate friendly ones of these effects, because if you blink, then they all come back separate, and she loses counters and whatever.
All stacked up.
Yeah.
If you just phase it out.
Also in terms of game enders, Dragon Throne of Tarkir.
Yes.
Yep.
I was
That'll
thinking
be a
about
fun way to
that
do
from
it.
the Vin deck. I can put
Yeah,
like Vecna or something on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get Helga. Helga is very regularly... Maybe I should honestly just put Brotherhood Regalia in here, because like Helga is regularly getting up to one-shot size.
Let Helga get there, get in there and get her hands dirty.
But I mean, I'd much rather like just give all of my things plus and trample.
Plus X,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so for example, one game the other time, I had cast a 22/22 Hydroid Crisis.
Oh shit,
yes,
yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah. And then on the next turn, I had cast Overwhelming Stampede, right? To give all my creatures +X and trample where X is the greatest power. And someone goes and like, okay, well, in response, I'll remove Hydroid Crisis. And I'm like, fine, I had 4 mana left. I had Pemenzora on Helga. It's like, okay, well, I'll pump her +/-4. +4/-4. Okay, so now they only get +16/+16.
Yeah, whoops. Oh, wow. Apples to oranges or whatever.
Okay.
Death is death.
Yeah, dead is dead. Also, shout out to Repulsive Mutation, because that's a real card.
Oh, yeah. Repulsive
the name
Mutation.
sounds
Okay,
familiar. What is that one?
X blue green instant from MKM. Put X1 counters on target creature, then counter up to 1 target spell unless the controller pays mana equal to the greatest power among creatures.
I'm picking up all these cards.
Yes, okay, I have gotten got by that before. You know what, gamers? MKM had bangers. I know you're turned off because it's an air quotes hat set, but like the rules text is fire.
MKM and New Capenna, that is a mental equivalence that I have in my head in terms of like all these particular cards from that set.
Yeah. Also... I will say this deck is not perfect. There is one lack of synergy that I realized. I do run Minimo, School at Water's Edge, which is, just a great card. But sadly, if I have something mutated on top of Helga, she's not legendary.
That makes sense.
So if I draw it late, I am having a little cry, but whatever. Oh no, I just drew an island.
That seems fine. Like, you're not going to not run a card because on some instances it doesn't work.
And if I get an early Minimo, then I change how I mutate Helga, right? I mutate other things, or I mutate Under, or whatever, right? Like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you just work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this deck is sweet. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, did I drop... I will drop the link, of course. Yeah, this deck is disgusting. It's like... It went from a deck that, like, I was like, I guess I'll bring this out because it's fun sometimes, to, like, literally one of my favorite decks now. Because it's like, yeah, this deck is awesome and does stupid shit.
It does the
and you
thing
get to
that
take
really appeals
lots
to you.
of game actions.
I would love to take game actions. I want a shirt that says I heart game actions.
Oh, also, shout out to Silverback Elder. That card is not fair.
It's really not. Every time I see a green deck resolve Silverback Elder, I'm just like, okay, this game is probably over, and it almost always is unless that thing is removed immediately.
I don't think I've seen it enough, but I have a feeling how it works out.
# play more apes.
Return to monkey.
Play more apes.
Okay, so Cole, 2 green, 5/7 ape shaman, already decent.
Why is it a 5/7?
Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Busted.
You gain 4 life.
Yeah.
Or look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom in a random order.
Jeez, and I thought I loved the fucking lookout from Thunder Junction. The
Free Strider Lookout.
Free Strider
it's
Lookout.
It's Free Strider Lookout returns to Monkey.
And you get all of that nonsense.
Oh my god. You know what?
Oh.
They really do need to fucking calm down on green design, because, like, this is the green mythic. You're like, okay, so this is, like, the 17th green mythic that's, like, way too fucking overcosted for its, like,
Still fucking reeling over Elder Gargaroth.
Like,
I'm
still freaking. I love Elder Gargaroth. My buddy recently was like, the guy who played the Valgavoth. He's like, yeah, I got this precon and it's got fucking Elder Gargaroth in it, and I really can't complain. I'm like, yeah, because it's fucking Elder Gargaroth. That guy does it fucking all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Magic's. We've jumped the proverbial shark in Magic like 20 times over, but mono green is still gonna get its fucking banger mythics that are undercosted overperformers.
I still say it's okay to punish mono green for ramping. That should happen more.
Okay.
We're gonna get them with the treacherous terrain.
Treacherous terrain, or what's the stupid blue enchantment?
Confounding
Conundrum.
No, that'll probably blow up more in your face more often than you realize. Let's not even bring it up.
You gotta be careful, but it can work. If they are a ramp mage specifically, then you're golden. If they're a landfall mage, then you're fucked. You're just feeding them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. Also, this is the deck where I run Moldrifter and Nulldrifter, because 3 mana draw 3 is pretty good.
You're like, I can't fucking run the new one because it's not quite the same.
Mana. It doesn't.
Well, it's also not a creature.
It's also not a. It's also. Not a creature.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a vehicle.
You extremely don't want it then.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. So yeah.
I'm sure it's only a matter of time before you get another Drifter, though. They've got.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, Nulldrifter also a very good base for mutating on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keywords.
I just think that I really hope that they do get more mutate cards into circulation again at some point, because I feel as if
I need more, because there are some less ideal ones.
Yeah.
I'm telling
the one that spits out beast tokens isn't great, but like
we'll take it.
It is what
it gives us more bodies to mutate on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I got loot.
Let's okay, hold on. We are once again approaching the 3-hour mark very soon.
Well, yeah, but you'll edit this down. Wait, no.
I'll edit it down, but I'm just saying we are getting there. I'm also I'm also starving.
That's fair.
So I was hoping that, Quinn, we could actually go to what I think is probably the highlight of this whole list, and then maybe we can do the others in passing. But I'm looking at the one at the bottom.
The cars, or the one all the way at the bottom?
The one all the way at the bottom.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Hit us with it.
I have one more anecdote after that, but that's very short.
That's totally okay. That's perfectly fine.
All right.
Show us your truth, Quinn. What the fuck is this?
Okay. So, yeah. I have been looking for a way to play a Super Friends deck that works for me. I've tried the pile of Chandras in a couple of different colors. We did the mono red Chandras with the Chandra. That wasn't exactly what we wanted. So we tried it again in Jeskai when the precon about Planeswalkers came out. And I can't stand that Guff guy for whatever reason. So we tried with Leori Spark Touched Hunter instead in the command zone. And that was all right, but it still wasn't exactly hidden the way that I wanted. So we didn't keep that one around for very long. But I still had this desire in me to play a Chandra's deck. And so the other day I had a fucking bananas idea of like, so what if Chandra studied for a while under the mentorship of an evil dragon? Not you, Bolus. Fuck that guy.
Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck that guy.
And so we were like,
we are certified Bolus haters here.
Black mana. And so I chose Croesus the Purger and made a Grixis Chandra's deck. It's basically a mono red deck with a Grixis mana base, but like I get to play 2 or 3 red and black cards and Niv Mizzet Visionary. So I'm at home and Grix is sue me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no.
here's Croesus Chandras. It's every Chandra, even the ones that people think are bad. And we've got a Soul Scar Mage because I want to make sure that my burn damage sticks. We've got a bunch of creatures that say Chandra in the name because I am dedicated to the bit, but we are also running the Speed Demon because I love that card. It's my new obsession.
Yes.
I want to be just drawing 4 and losing
one.
4 every turn. I will completely divert the rest of my deck's game plans to
I was
make
going to
that
say,
happen.
like, considering how far you are leaning in the mono red angle, having the quote unquote speed demon splash to, like, you just draw more Chandras and be like, cool, here are 4 more potential Chandras for you to deal with.
It is truly exactly what's happening there. I keep drawing into more Chandras. I've got my girl Far Fortune in here as well as a damage modifier. It's really just like a pile of Chandras, damage modifiers, and cards that say Chandra on them. And bobbleheads because of the kind of mage that I am, and I don't want to think about ramp packages. We just fucking auto put those in there and move on. Artist Talent is a fucked up Magic the Gathering card, so I'm definitely playing that. I wanted to try Virtue of Courage. I've had one of those hanging around for fucking ever, so I put that in there. That's an enchantment. That's the adventure, deals 2 damage to any target on the instant half, and then the enchantment half, whenever you deal non-combat damage to an opponent, you can exile that many cards from your library and you can play those this turn. So it really just shows you a bunch of fucking cards, and I really wanted to know what that felt like in EDH because the potential is massive. So yeah, only way to find out is to play it. Of course, we got Descendant to Avernus. We are here for a good time, not a long time. There's a clock and it is ticking. I got the Spike Chamber Torture Pit because I love Footlight Fiend, and this guy makes 3 of them. And the other half of the room says if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So we are constantly modifying the damage that we're getting from our Chandras. The plus 2s end up dealing like 4 damage.
They're averaging, each Chandra is probably averaging like 2 or 3 damage per activation in some way.
Yeah, so even if it's just like a 1 damage ping, I'm getting up to there to 3s, and the like 6 mana Chandras that deal 3 damage, I'm getting up there to like 5 damage, which feels really good. Once you start like having a damage modifier in the Chandra activation, you feel like you're fucking getting somewhere with the burn damage on that, and that makes it feel worthwhile. Maybe that was the secret sauce that I was missing in my previous builds of Chandra decks, because I don't think I had damage modifiers, and the burn doesn't always feel worth it if you don't have those, I found. So I'd like prioritize sticking one of those and then play a Chandra with that. The deck kind of does nothing in the first half of the game, so if you're playing against this deck, you're probably supposed to take advantage of that opening and like beat my ass. Because once I start resolving 6 mana Chandras, they're all like built to be control win conditions, and I just like accrue value, and I have 20 of them, so there's a lot of value to be accrued.
Not to mention that, as it turns out, a lot of Chandras have a lot of synergy with each other, including the Chandras that were from the same core set. So it's just cool.
So those ones in particular are extremely good. Chandra Acolyte of Flame, who just like the 0 ability puts a loyalty counter on all of your red planeswalkers. Of course, all of my Chandras are red, but if I had the other guys that I really like Zariel, Archduke of Avernus, and Tybalt, Rakish Instigator, like those would also be getting loyalty. And I do kind of want to find room for those because Zariel makes bodies for pretty cheap, and Tybalt ensures that my burn damage sticks. I hadn't solved for that in the first build of this deck. I need to turn off life gain, obvious. Maybe we just do the fucking red ley line so that I don't have to pay for the spell, potentially. I don't know. Much to think about.
I don't know. Every once in a while, someone makes a Super Friends deck that I can like really get behind. And I was running Dahada Super Friends for a bit a couple years ago, and I was having a lot of fun with that because like you could get a couple Gideons out with like oh, you know what? That red Sarkin that makes them all dragons.
Oh yeah, that's a win condition. I think I have that sitting in a dragon's deck somewhere because if you're attacking me, then my dragons deal burn damage through that Sarkon. But I could also just play that here and turn all of my Chandras into dragons and DJ Dragon beats it up.
What's going on? Charlotte, you look like you want to say something.
No, just looking at the list for the deck I'm going to talk about next.
Right,
or are we done? Are we at that point?
No, you said you got one. I said yeah. So we'll go there. But
all right, so
Chandra Grizzly says cool. Very cool. Yeah. Like that.
All right. Yeah, Chandra deck's good. I have a mono red deck that runs more planeswalkers than any other deck, but it's not really a planeswalker deck. Anyway, not what I'm talking about. My mono black deck is Ghoul Color Gisa. So this is like zombie tokens. Goal is play big power, low cost stuff. Sack it, make a bunch of zombies like Calaxion from Aetherdrift, for example.
Just gonna say, so you added the new vanilla 3-mana 7 power.
Yeah,
creature,
it's
right?
going in once I get one. Yeah.
Perfect.
Also, Hunted Bone Brute from MKM. You know, that's actually like the perfect example because it also like nugs all my opponents for like 3 life when it does.
I like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
I have a bad Absand Stacks deck on Arena that's like those guys and the Hushbringers so that their downside doesn't actually be a downside. It's very funny.
So I was playing this deck the other day. This deck is not like super strong, mostly because it's very commander dependent. Also, like the goal with the deck is it's zombie token tribal, so I'm not like playing just generic good zombies. I need anything I play has to like either like pump everything or, you know, specifically interact with zombie tokens. But first time playing the deck that I actually went nuts with Mirkwood Bats because that card is not fair.
The card is so
really
busted.
not.
So for example, I got to play Necrotic Hex, which is 6 and a black sorcery. Each player sacks 6 creatures. You make 6 tapped zombie tokens. So I play it. I sack 6 tokens, make 6 tokens, nug everyone for 12.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
So good.
I also got the first win in the deck finally with Skemfar Shadow Sage.
What?
Which is 3 and a black for a 2/5 elf cleric. ETB, choose one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. Yeah, I had 25 zombies, so
do the math.
You just fucking burn them all down.
I could have gained 25 life, but how about I just win the game? But fun stuff like that. Yeah, but fun stuff like that. Like, the deck is dumb. It's not particularly good because I need a 5-mana commander and I need her to tap. But like,
yeah, but like, who cares? It's
you're
dedicated,
it's cool.
You're persistent, you're a smart and intelligent Magic the Gathering player. You know how to make her work.
Yeah.
Sure
also, this is the best deck ever for Plum the Forbidden because that card should see more play. Because
I love that card a lot.
Yeah. Also, it's like the greatest deck for Predator's Hour.
I like that card a lot.
Oh God, no!
Gamers, if you're not playing Predator's Hour, give that a try for me in your Go Wide aggro deck. Because it gives all of your guys menace, and when you deal combat damage, you get to exile the top card of that player's library. It's like a Coastal Piracy, except from their deck. Like, who doesn't want that? You're seeing more cards.
I mean, yeah. Also, shout out to Species Specialist, because that card is fun.
I like that guy a lot. I would love to see a reprint of that guy. I think he's in the...
he's getting too pricey.
Yeah, the Trin and Silvar Precon, and I don't think I've seen a reprint since then, so... Wizards.
No, it hasn't had
figure
one.
It out.
Yeah. Also, this is like the one deck where I'll run Razaketh because, like, what am I going to tutor up more stuff that makes zombies?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyway, I don't know.
I think the other
deck is simple. It's dumb and good.
The demon stack.
Yeah.
That'd be appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't have as much fodder for him. Right.
Mm-hmm. That makes it more costly and less good.
Yeah. But I don't know. Deck is fun. Goal is to win with bullshit like Gruesome Fate or the Skemfar Shadow Sage.
And look, I think if there's anything that can be summarized about our podcast is us coming back every couple weeks and talking about decks that are working or are not working. And it's really, and again, going back to the brackets before we shut this thing down, is that it is a way for us to play the game, to quantify what works, and then come back and reiterate and come back to your friends or the strangers that you play with at the LGS and figure out what works. And it's like, you know, like Quinn, hoping that freaking Chandra Croesus deck fucking works out, because if it doesn't, it's going to be real fucking depressing.
We're going to keep trying.
Sorry, I forgot the best part from that game. Mm-hmm. When I drew 30 cards by sacrificing 15 zombies to God Eternal Bontu while I had Hard General out.
I love God Eternal Bontu so much. I once sacrificed a bunch of my lands and a World Shaper to her, and we just like put them all in the graveyard, put them all right back on the battlefield. The value was unbelievable.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
That's
honestly,
sick.
that whole cycle from War of the Spark was real good. Like the Eternals and the big pigs.
I see Ilharg a lot.
Ilharg, my king. I love you.
Bontu always comes up randomly here and there. I don't see God Eternal Ronus a whole lot, which I feel really disappointed by.
I think he's a solid green card though. You slam Ronus.
Yeah,
he's solid. He's been a bit outclassed by Zopendrel lately, but like
that is true. Yeah.
He also only doubles power, not toughness.
All right, I'm going to rescind my earlier comment about mono green mythic cards and just say, you know what? They get the mix of both worlds. This is the extreme. On the one end, you have the most amazing green mythic cards that do everything, probably push the envelope quite a lot, and people whine and bitch about it. And then they make the most, like, non-fucking burger fucking mono green mythic where you're like, why is this even here at this tier? What is wrong with you?
It was good at the time, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
it's still good, and I have the Comic-Con promo, so I still play it in my
there we go.
But I mean, also just I don't play everything that can make Rix with these one shot, but you know.
But almost everything.
Yeah, I don't play the, unnatural growth, just because triple green is a bit rough, or quad green is, it's quad green, right? Yeah, anyway, yeah. But cards good, magic good, play magic, yay.
Yay, there we go.
What a cool game we all get to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what a cool game we get to talk about.
There's a reason this game has stuck around for 30 plus years, right? Like
so true, bestie.
And despite, because they're announcing, Final Fantasy next week. I think they're starting to do that.
I don't know.
It's starting sooner than you think. So
I'm still faded off exhaust fumes from Ether Drift.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's upcoming.
We're back to the grind. We're back to the grind here. Where there's a new set coming tomorrow, Quinn. You got to get used to it. You got to freaking take those goggles. Take your racing goggles off and put on your Sid goggles and get ready for some fucking Final Fantasy. All right.
Can I just say how nice it was to have like weeks with no previews after Foundations?
Yeah, it was pretty great, and now we're back right into it. Christmas break's over. Let's fucking get back to it. All right. Let's wrap it up because we might be there. We'll see if another 3-hour episode or just under. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Charlotte, thanks for.
There's important shit.
Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming, for not only either staying up or taking a nap or whatever to come up at like 4 or 5 a.m. in wherever. Place. Where can people find you? Talk about your socials. Yada.
Best place to find me is on Bluesky at Jackalyte, JAQALYTE. I technically still have an account on Twitter, but I don't use that shit anymore, and it's locked down.
I deep sixed mine and HBVC. I didn't announce that.
Don't find me there. I'm also Jackalyte on Discord. I'm in a whole bunch of Discords. Find me there.
MTG Lexicon.
MTG Lexicon. Also, I'll give a shout out to the Shatter Gang, which is a bunch of cool guys from Scotland. They have a really chill community Discord where I've been playing a lot of games lately. They're awesome. I played a really sick Helga game with them last week. Yeah, and then I don't know. I'm sure I'll probably show up on other podcasts or write something about all the brackets. But, you know, when I write, it's on Commander's Herald, but that's rare these days. But yeah.
Awesome.
Hell
Cool.
yeah.
I don't know. Less to plug, but I'm also Jackalite on Moxfield if you want to see my decks. And there'll be links in the show notes, I'm sure. So.
Yep. They will
Absolutely.
be for sure.
Yeah.
And as usual, you can find me at the Bloodtrick Guy over on Bluesky. I did announce it, and I gotta go edit and remove all the links, but I shut down my Twitter account and the HBVC Twitter account because fuck all that shit. I'm so sick and tired of that website. You can find Quinn at Girl Dick Energy, wherever socials are available, and then we're at HBVC-MTG on Bluesky, where we'll be posting memes. Usually I'm just retweeting whatever we posted recently, including whatever Quinn is like furiously like talking about, like, I hit max speed, check me out, what? It's like, okay, you're crazy.
Yeah, we had max speed on turn 4. We post about that. We also post about how max speed is for the gamers with the guts to reach out and take it.
All right. That's it for this episode, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Hell yeah.